You can't be a public figure in the black community and go shake Trump's hand. Ice Cube couldn't even sit down with Trump and read his platinum plan without Lil Wayne couldn't even go have a conversation. He couldn't even tell
I
his
see what you're
people.
saying. I see what you're saying.
It's different, G.
It is. No,
They, the liberals, they already know.
I'm speaking as a white guy.
Yeah. No, I don't mean yeah, like you're speaking, but you know what I'm saying. Yeah, you're speaking as a white guy. Shut up. You can't chime in on this, white boy.
I got that. Yeah, heard them call me conscious. I ain't think about it honestly. My thoughts too deep to process, so I do this all unconsciously. Finally feeling God bless. Got 'em woke up dropping prophecy. Don't take it out of context. Just before, I swear they always sleep. Now they catch the message, yeah. Bet that every song is deep. It's levels in each concept. But I can't just never mono theme. I'm trying to lead this flock for the cause, not the following. People upon a partner, and I wonder why they drawn to me. Once upon a time, I thought to follow up a dream. Draw life about these lines, nothing twice about these schemes, and like thrice about these insights. What I write is like a blueprint for you to comprehend life. That's light, I reckon, make you shine. Never dim it down, even if you live surrounded where everybody vision clouded. Remember, staying down ain't quite as good as getting out. It said, remember, staying down ain't quite as, ay. Few believed, yeah. Many doubted. It was hard for them to think. Somehow I'm finally getting out of that's it. Usually, yeah, they vision clouded, but as you can see by now, we finally getting out there, writing truth, spreading love. Tell me how you feel about it. Got this music from above. This how I know I'm getting out there, writing truth, spreading love. Tell me how you feel about it. Got this music from above. This how
Yeah, it was. Yeah, so well, I don't want to just. I know G might want to do a little introduction or whatever the case.
No. Go right for it, man.
Look.
Yeah.
Hey, yeah, y'all know who we are, and and y'all know why we're here. But anyway, things to talk about, folks. But no, before we jumped on, I was just telling G like, I love. If people who know me know that I love taking these narratives from people, media, social media, whatever, right? Narratives on
like the Nazi salute that Elon just gave or whatever.
That was a very, and look, I'm at the point with that. See, you be throwing me off, G. I'm at the point with that where I think they know exactly what they're doing. They know. He knew he knew that was going to get a reaction. They know what to do, and because he's on that side, there are certain things that fit that narrative. Again, going back to narratives and tying that back into what I was talking to G about before we jumped on was just I went out to Trump Winery over the summer, and I love crashing out on narratives, right? Like, oh, how could you, or that had to be so uncomfortable, or whatever somebody could say that for some reason can't fathom or wrap their programmed brain around. Like I understand what you think you know, or think about things, or think you know about people, or types of people, or certain types of demographics. We all have these things, right?
Based on social media and the television.
Based off of these narratives that are, yes, exactly. Social media, and most of it comes from media. Let's just be real. I mean, most people
social media too. Social media is the new media.
Exactly, absolutely. And most people and I've said this before on this pod, most people that have these opinions and these narratives have never even been outside of their own comfort zone. It's like, what? You haven't even
remember, I don't know if you ever watched the pod that I did with Dre, but he's from the projects in New York. And he's like, there's a certain mindset there. Like some people have literally never left that project. And they're proud of that shit. And it makes them sad.
Yeah, 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 and it makes him sad. I was going to say, I wonder how he felt about that, but yeah,
Well, he's
it
traveled the world
is.
and he's
But
made a very successful life of himself. So like he's got a
right,
I mean he's more like me politically. He doesn't fuck with Trump at all, but he's also open-minded to what you're talking about, just
listen, I'm
breaking
not ignorant. I
character.
understand what they try to say that he represents. Like, even if it's not him, it's what they tie him into. Again, my question to
He's a
folks is
part of
if
it though,
you're
Jayden.
saying that,
He's
if you're,
that's the part that I gotta
I understand, G. And
always
my
throw.
thing is, if you are saying that, then you are also admitting that they take these things that people obsess over, these triggering topics, these triggering narratives, these triggering emotional, social things, and they lump it in.
I agree with everything you're saying right now. What I'm saying is he's with them. He's just playing his role.
Playing it different,
He's an
playing it
actor.
different.
He's the I mean they
Yeah,
tell
I know.
you
I know.
he's
I
an
know.
actor.
And what I was about to say to you right before you said, "Oh wait, I'm not even recording yet," was
Frank Zappa, the old, I don't know if you ever listened to Frank Zappa. I don't honestly. I mean, there's a few songs that are good, but he was a really good mind. He was a musician, but he also was like a philosopher that was a musician. And
right.
he said that politics is the entertainment division of the military industrial complex.
Industrial complex. I like how you mentioned that in the
Nail
group
on the
chat one
head.
day.
Nail on
Yeah,
the head with that one.
right. All right. No, it's right. And they got one, and they do right now got one of the best of
And that's exactly what you're talking about.
one of the actors too.
You know, but he does his thing, like you're saying, the whole polarization. He plays his role. He triggers the left, and then and then the left themselves, with their being triggered, triggers the people on the right, and then you get the
And then here we go with the pendulum swing, and
right,
it's designed to do that.
right.
And going back to what I was saying about where I was at this summer, I love to crash out on narratives in the sense of I love just going there. Like, what do you like, regardless of what you think, or somebody hearing this that's probably already triggered by me being a Black American and saying that is already trying to
Well, you
figure
already
out
know you already know what that narrative is.
exactly. So
Uncle
my thing
Tom,
is
Coon, whatever else,
all of that,
whatever.
all the
I'm sure
lovely
you've heard it
words
all.
that I'm so happy that I have grown to
That's
not
what
be emotionally tied to.
crabs in the bucket. Yeah, exactly. And
Yes.
you can't take it personally if you want to be a crab that gets out the bucket.
Right, right, right. And the fact that you would even, but again, I love these sort of case studies and social experiments. Guess what, though? Guess what, people? And I'm looking right in the camera. Not from what somebody else has told me, but from what I have experienced myself.
Right.
Bottom line.
Right.
Bottom line. That's how I form my experiences and opinions and everything else in life. Not by what's told to me or what you think is going on because someone's showing you or telling you something, which half of it is fake anyway, CGI or scripted to begin with, okay? But what you actually experience. And I've said this on this pod many times, G. Most of the things that people are triggered by because they've been told they haven't even experienced. I haven't even experienced. And listen, for the people that have, because there's always going to be a portion of people who are like, "What are you talking?" I did experience. I I I understand that. I'm not saying that these things or whatever you're feeling
Are you
or
talking about like
thinking,
racism in general or
racism, how they've been treated amongst the majority, you know, white folks or being in the country and their experience, this, that, and third. You're talking to somebody who grew up in the country, predominantly around different people. You're talking about somebody who went to school in the mountains. You're talking about somebody who's never used an excuse. I call it how I see it. Even you, G, know I call out racism all day in the NFL, and I love my team. But the NFL as a whole, some things are what they are based off of stories, experiences, what you kind of see, what makes sense. Noticing how
I think a portion of that is scripted as well. The race baiting, the whole
And that, hey, that could
Josh
be
Allen, Lamar Jackson thing. I mean, it's
absolutely
obvious in a lot of cases.
absolutely. But regardless of that, we still know that some of these owners are, whatever.
Well, that was the whole point. Is that when I was telling you, number one, Lamar Jackson. Okay, like you can argue whatever you want. I think he's the best quarterback in the league.
Yeah,
It's
he
hard.
had it
I mean, it's hard to argue he's not top three,
right.
right? I mean, if you can argue all you want, Patrick Mahomes, okay, whatever. It's, whatever. I
Yeah,
think he's the most. Regardless, you cannot say he's the worst quarterback in the league. So
no.
tell me why he was drafted 32nd, okay? And
Oh
then
yeah.
that all right, there might be excuses for that. There's some blah blah whatever out there for that. But then you're
Hmm.
gonna tell me 3 years ago or whatever it was when he was up for free agency and the Ravens actually allowed teams to go after him and nobody went
Nobody
after him?
wanted to touch him.
You're
Nobody.
gonna tell me
Now,
no?
now
I
there
mean,
is an
come on.
excuse out there
There is.
there is an excuse out there that I almost slightly buy. Slightly, okay? And that is everybody knew that whatever offer that they were going to offer Lamar, Baltimore was going to match it. There's no way Baltimore, being the most competent organization in the league, was actually going to let Lamar walk out the door. Okay. So no matter what deal somebody would have gave him, they would have matched it. He would have stayed in Baltimore. First of all, if we want to talk about the NFL being a script, Lamar Jackson anywhere else other than the new chocolate city of Baltimore wouldn't even make sense, bruh. Mr. Gold Teeth Lamar, it's the perfect
Oh,
face for
no,
that
I see. No,
city.
no, 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 no.
They were not going to let him leave.
I'm with you there, but
Yes.
I don't think it happened organically at all, like you're talking about. I think that was a collusive. They act as a collective bargaining. They act as a whole. I mean, it comes. I mean, even when you buy a Steelers jersey, the Ravens get the same amount of profit. The Bengals get the same amount of
Yeah.
profit. The
No, for
Browns get
sure.
the same amount of profit as the Steelers.
For sure.
You can't tell me people act like these are independent entities. No, they are
Yeah.
representatives of the NFL, and that
Of
is
the entirety of the NFL, right?
it is communism. It is totalitarianism.
Yeah.
It is
No, it is. It
dictatorship.
is. It is ultimately. And like I said,
That
slight.
wasn't that didn't happen organically. That was Lamar needs to stay in Baltimore.
Yeah.
Uh
Yeah.
nobody make it. Come on, man. Come on.
Yeah. Yeah. But gee, look at what you just said. That's what I'm saying. Like,
No. There is racism out there. Is the
no, no,
whole
no, no, for
of
sure.
this
But I'm talking about
there is even
let's be
institutional
real about it for a
and
second.
systemic.
If I was the overseer of the NFL, I think even I would be like, Lam- Lamar is good for that city. Like, who would disagree with that?
Okay, but if it's happened,
There's data out there that
the
shows
contract negotiation piece of that is where he gets fucked.
how.
He's
Look at
left.
his deal.
I mean, you don't think he could have gotten more if it was a genuine competition
No,
for his
no,
services?
no. Let me tell you why. Because it was always going to be a thing that that Pat Mahomes was going to be the baseball money guy of the NFL, the first guy to get a half a billy, blah blah blah.
But everything that
Everybody
you're saying
else,
right now is with the understanding that it is the way it is. I'm saying if they don't act as a top-down organization, if they're really just an association with 32 independent organizations, the teams acting as
mm-hmm,
individual entities,
mm-hmm.
then somebody would have to outbid he it wasn't a true bidding war. You know what I'm saying? There was collusion. It's like price setting, or you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah. No, 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 no. I agree with
price fixing.
I agree with that. I agree with that. It's like everybody coming into a NATO or a WHO meeting or a WHO collective. They all sit around the round table and they throw at the NFL meetings. I know. I understand that. I'm just listen, maybe, right? A bidding war drives the price up. That would be a way to guarantee that Lamar would only take
He
the
would have
number.
reset the market.
Yeah, yeah.
And they were
I
like,
get it.
we don't have
He wouldn't have gotten more than Pat though. Pat's deal is baseball money, bruh.
if but even that is a result of all of the fixing for him to win it. Imagine if these were
I know.
organic games. Lamar would
I
be
I know, I know, I know, I know, I know. They making
I'm
that
a
they keep
Steelers fan saying this. I'm not saying this because I want to. You know what I mean? Like I'm
listen,
just
G,
seeing it. I'm just calling it how I see it.
listen, G. They were better off keeping the deflate gate alive than to let us organically see these refs clearly cheating for the Chiefs all the time. So they and you know what they're doing now? They always do this, right? Just like G. Let me finish this thought. Just like how the NFL is now leaning into the script conversation, now they're leaning into the hey Pat. They're asking Pat at press conferences now.
Yeah.
Hey,
Do
did
you
you
think you're getting the
what do you think
calls?
about people saying that the refs are calling the games in your favor? They're going to start to lean into this and make it a parody.
Yeah.
And eventually it works every time. It's psychology, G. It's like now it's a thing, right? Like let's have fun. Like, oh yeah, we know the NFL is scripted, but we love it so much. And ooh, I wonder like what the script is today. And ooh, look at what the script it's a thing, right? And the same thing is going to happen with Pat and the refs. Watch.
No,
But
I'm with you on that. I don't. There's no disagreement with me on that one.
but again, like I almost feel like sometimes like it's crazy, bro, because you know that these entities they hire these psychologists and they just so much of this is psychology, G. Like so much of it is.
What they
It's
call it
like, oh, they're
Psyops.
starting to catch on to us about this. So let's lean into it. Let's make some commercials about it. Like we're kind of having fun with this, it's like, nigga, you not fooling me. I know what we still know what you're doing, even though you're trying to troll us about it.
So
Like
actually, it's funny that you say that because you got your Redskin blanket behind you. You're rocking your.
I know, and people are
So
like,
how does it feel? How does it feel to have your team for the
I
first
know why you're asking me
in your
that question
memory
too, G.
to be in the NFC Conference Championship after you find out that it's all fucking WWE?
Okay, we're gonna have two
It's
sides
gotta
to
be
it.
like feeling like your favorite wrestler winning the championship or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Knowing
Okay,
it's
there's
rigged, but hey, that's because you still have certain like personalities that you like, or in this case, locality, your childhood team, or whatever it may be.
listen, G.
There's those
It's like
emotional ties, those narrative
listen,
ties, the things you identify with and relate to,
yeah.
all that.
Listen, it's like
Why I'm a Steeler fan. I like their consistency, their long-term mentality. They've only had 3 head coaches their whole career.
you like what they represent, even though they're part of the game.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah,
So here's the thing about that, because anybody could hear our pod and then look at my shirt and attire. And obviously I've said this many times.
cognitive dissonance.
Yeah. So here's the thing. I have the balls to admit it though. Like I will
I know.
tell people.
I'm fucking with you. You know that, but I know what they're gonna say.
No, but it is true. Don't think that I don't sit back and ask myself too, huh? So, like, okay, I know this, and I feel like I know this, and this, and I know this, and this, but I still have the same aberration, passion and admiration for the sport, for the game. I love offense. I love the designs of offensive plays.
You
I
played
love
high school football.
yeah, I love how you can draw up different run designs with counters and powers. I love the game. I love seeing the game evolve to now where mobile quarterbacks is about to be dominant. I love our colors. I love seeing a fan base that's been down for so long have this moment. I love seeing fan bases from other franchises that have been like the Browns and the Lions and so many these fan bases that clearly get the wrong side of the script where they're just supposed to be the loser in this game all the time, I guess. And these fan bases that don't look at it like that, they
The
still live or die by
Vikings
this, but
team
don't
fear.
know the difference between their, kind of their role in this skit right now. For some fan bases, elongated skit. And some of it, I love the game, man. I love the game. But, like I call out when I see what's happening. Like I still do that. Like,
No, it was
so
great to hear Kenny. It was great to hear
uh,
Kenny. We watched the game this past Sunday, together or Saturday
against the
night.
Lions, by the way, listen, taking all of that out of it. Wow.
Very entertaining
Now,
game.
here comes the fan side of me that's just like, look, if this is going to be our script, sign me up. Sign me up.
I'm loving it. I'm loving it.
Hey, if our script is not to be the laughing stock incompetent shithole
Yeah.
that used to be us for 33 years, okay, listen, it's a game. We're not supposed to be mad and upset and drained from this fixed game anyway.
Right.
So guess what? If this is going to bring me joy, if Jayden Daniels and the NFL said, you know what, we're completely rewriting the story on the Washington franchise to be positive and winning and competent, and
no,
I mean, listen, I'm still watching them, so I mean.
Oh, that's part of this whole narrative. Like you use the word narrative. I mean, that's part of this is to reinvigorate the Washington area into an NFL region.
Yes.
Proud of its franchise again because of what you said. It's been in the dumps for so long. You also mentioned Jayden Daniels. I've told you this already, but I just want to get it on record. My prediction is Chiefs.
Yeah, let's go ahead.
Chiefs Commanders.
Whoa. G. Let me set the stage first.
Okay.
G first, what he's about to say.
I said this before the Lions game.
Before the Lions game, okay? Yep. In the week leading up to the Lions game, he made very bold predictions. Go ahead, G.
I said it would be Chiefs and Commanders, and here's my reasoning behind that. And the Chiefs are going to win. When Mahomes was being inducted into the ring of goats, metaphorically.
And what tell him what you mean there. Pat and Tom kind of.
So Tom Brady was on his way out the door. Mm-hmm. It was his next to last year, I believe, or maybe last year with the Bucks. I think it was next to last year, whatever it was. And it was that. I mean, even NFL fans that question us and are like, it's not rigged. Even a lot of Kenny and them were like, man, that LT, I think that was the last game where he was like, I'm done with the NFL. That was clearly rigged, That Super Bowl where Pat Mahomes was just running all around the place.
Acting like he ain't never played football.
Acting like he had never played quarterback before, and they got whooped by the Bucks. That was him paying his dues. He made it to the Super Bowl. That's still a Super Bowl appearance, right, on the books. He lost
a very good regular season. Record setting.
He lost to Brady. Brady got his 7th ring, which is more than any franchise, mind you. He had 6 with the Patriots, won his 7th with the Bucks. Patriots and Steelers still tied as a franchise with 6. Brady with 7. Mm-hmm. So there's something to he's the GOAT. He's better than any team is kind of the whole idea here, right? Because it's a very quarterback centric. You have the quarterback on every team is the superstar now, right?
Yeah.
No matter how good the running back is, like
quarterback is everything.
Right.
Quarterback is everything now. You can actually make it far without even a good defense these days, and I think the league is changing that way too. It's wild. I mean, look at what we're doing.
And so the reason to get back to my prediction, the reason why I say Jayden Daniels is talented, marketable, likable, relatable. He's everything that they want in the next Patrick Mahomes. So what's going to happen is just going to be just like the year Pat threw the game for Brady to win. Jayden's going to throw the Super Bowl for Pat to win. But in future years, Jayden will be winning Super Bowls because he's a company guy and he's following the rules. So he's going to take that L in the Super Bowl. But he'll be the first rookie to lead his team to a Super Bowl.
Yeah. Now, G, the fan side of me hears that, and I'm like, I hope that that's not the case. You
hope it's not the case because I mean it's kind of like you.
No. I know what you're saying,
weekend, right?
let me say this: if that's what if somebody said, James, would you, for the next 10 years, take multiple NFC championship games, a couple Super Bowls, a new stadium, all of this stuff for one sacrificial Super Bowl to Pat so he can get his next one? Would you take that? The fan in me, of course, wants to say no. Of course, right?
I would say yes, even as a fan. Why not? That's a good deal.
But listen,
There's 32 teams in the
look,
league,
G.
man. There's 31 losers every year.
I
Or even
know.
30 losers if you consider the Super Bowl runner-up a winner
I know.
in a
I
kind
know.
of
Listen. The other part of me knows that this story is too good to be true. I mean, what he's doing right now with an 18th ranked defense that can't stop the run and a
every
roster that
other
is,
rookie quarterback that has made it this far had like a top 3 ranked defense.
yeah,
And all of them lost in this round.
yeah.
But he's not gonna. And then so he'll be the first one to do that. And then Pat and them are gonna win their three-peat first NFL team to ever do that. Commander in Chief just got
Yeah,
inaugurated with the chief on
I know.
stage at the inauguration. Redskins,
Gee,
Commander's name. I'm telling
it,
all
it,
signs to me
I
are
know.
pointing the Commander's
I
name.
know. What I want to do before Sunday is look at the gematria side of this. To line to
I'm not saying I know things for certain.
no, of course.
I'm just saying to and look, the Bills,
But what you're
that's a
saying,
Native
G,
American
does
thing
sound
too.
what you're saying does sound. I could see if I was a script writer, that's one that I probably would be writing, especially if we knew we had to get this DC
But
fan base
I mean, you
together.
could also look at it as the Bills, they kind of represent Native American imagery, and the Eagles represent American USA imagery. So there are ways where it could work the other way. But to me, the Jayden Daniels factor is the biggest factor here to me.
Yeah.
There, and it's not even about if if it wasn't for the fact that there is a Pat Mahomes 2.0 on the horizon in Jayden Daniels,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that they would necessarily script it for the Chiefs again.
Gotcha. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but they got their man. Now they all right, here's the time. It's the golden age with Trump, right? The golden age is upon us. The golden boy, Jayden, is gonna replace he's the new golden boy. Patrick
So
Mahomes is the current golden boy, right?
talk about that other thing too.
Brady was the golden boy. And
Right.
right before that game with Detroit, Brady, who commentated that game, was down on the field talking to who? Jayden Daniels.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, G, I want you to tie in one more point that you brought up that was, I mean, I thought of this too, but when you said it, I was like, yeah, the VR piece to this.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Being because we know that
They want to advertise the metaverse anyway. So Jayden Daniels, the coolest quarterback ever. Look at why he's so successful.
Look at how he got Rookie of the Year. The
Yeah,
VR.
He's the VR quarterback. Don't
He's
you
the VR.
want to be good? You could train in 1.75 speed.
Yep. Yep. And now the endorsement deal, you know, the AI thing. Look at what the government
of
pledging.
MK Ultra once people are dependent
Yeah.
on the metaverse that is literally just beaming information into your eye. Remember when we were little? Don't look at the TV too close.
Right. Now it's
literally
just rewiring and
rewiring your brains.
You know what was interesting about that readout that I sent you about the whole VR thing? I sent it to you, didn't I?
Yeah.
They literally have a passage in there that says we are rewiring. Good gosh, rewiring your brain.
Right, yeah.
Which is what it does.
Yep. 100%.
And listen, I do, but at the same time, for all my Commanders fans that may be listening to this, or if this crosses Jayden Daniels' path somehow, who knows? I totally buy into the fact that it is helping him speed up everything.
You know, I mean,
the proof's in the pudding the second that he started using it week 3 of his senior year in LSU. It was like even the first couple games at LSU, he was still average. And then the week that he started using it, week 3 before oh crap, who were they playing? Somebody help me in the comments with that.
It don't matter.
Everything changed from that game on. And he has been explosive, quick, reading the field, his release, his his ability to just be poised and calm under pressure and just make all the right decisions. No turnovers, no picks. In the past 7 weeks, we've punted the ball like 2 times. Like, we don't punt the ball. We have one of the best punters in the league, Tress Way. We call him the holder now. We don't even call him the punter anymore. We call him the holder because he doesn't punt. You know, all the while doing this with
the whole culture has the whole football culture. I remember growing up, man, they would always kick field goals, even off on like 4th and 1, they'd be kicking a field goal and like,
oh,
you know
bro,
what I'm saying?
We go
And
for it
they go for it every fucking
every
time
fourth
now.
every fourth
They're
down.
aggressive.
And don't ever let it be a 4th and short. But hell, we go for it sometime on 4th and 11.
Yeah, it's insane.
Guess who be picking that shit up though?
It really is just so.
Hey, I take it, man. I take it, baby.
Yeah, you know, it's something. It is.
I'll take it, but it is interesting. I wanted you to bring up that prediction, G, because first of all, if it happens, this episode may go fucking viral. But second of all, I kind of feel what you're saying. Everything you were saying in that group chat that night, I was like, you know, G might be onto something here. You know, as much as I know what happens,
and remind everybody that was before the Lions game.
Yeah. But
nobody was giving them a chance against the Lions. Now that they've beat the Lions, I feel like more. Even though the Eagles, you know, are just as good of a team, if not better, you know, on both, if you include the defense, especially if you include the defensive side of the ball, it ain't gonna matter when the script says you can't win. You know, I don't care how your team is, you're not allowed to win this year.
Not only that, let me say something else. We went into Philly.
Everybody's gonna say that. All the Philly fans are gonna say that's a Kenny Pickett. They call that the Kenny Pickett game.
You know what though? You know what offsets that?
But you watch what happened. Watch what happened. No, hold on. No. I want to make another prediction. Jalen Hurts gets hurt in this game. In this coming game.
Now, just like he did in the first. That would seal it. I would fall out on the floor and that would seal it. I would fall out on the floor.
But that gives the Philly fans an excuse.
An excuse, I know. But here's the thing.
Their heart won't hurt so bad.
Man, G, so what's so funny about that? They're already building up his leg injury right now.
No, I know. He's all beat up and blah, blah, blah.
Listen, hear me out.
Concussion. Yeah, exactly.
When we went into Philly week 16 and beat them 36 points, mind you. Yes, it was Kenny Pickett, but guess what? We had 5 turnovers. The same amount of turnovers as Detroit had against us. We had 5 turnovers and still scored 36 points on the best defense in the league with a rookie quarterback.
They're gonna say
now, G.
And as a Steeler fan, I gotta empathize with them.
He scripted or not, that's hard to do. Why do you even do that? Scripted. 5 turnovers, 36 points, and still win against the number 1 defense in the league. Walk off touchdown too. Boom, walk off touchdown.
Hey, listen, it's been their year, right? It's been a magic.
I wish I knew how they did it. G. I wish I knew how they did it. It drives me mad. Like, how do you? It's so.
Oh no! It's just like Brian said, and which is still our number one. My number one video is Human Vibration talking about.
Yeah, but that Brian one was.
As far as full podcast, my number one full podcast is still that one that you and I did with Brian, and it's just like Brian said. I might not know how the magician's doing his trick, but I know a magic trick when I see
when I see one, yeah.
You know, and that's the exact metaphor for what the NFL does. It's like, I don't know how they're doing it, but it's fucking obviously a trick.
Speaking of that, G, what do you think about the guy, the mentalist who comes on the pregame shows and he goes to teams and he does wild shit? I don't know how he does it. I know it's a magic trick. I know there's always
that could be.
But what do you think about that? Because to me, that's the NFL kind of telling you. That's almost their way of being like, exactly the same way that you're looking at the mentalist and the players are looking at this guy blow their mind with his magic. We blow your minds every week with our magic.
Right.
I don't know. It just makes me think of like, how do they do this? It's got to be. Now, listen, I understand a big portion of it is the refs. That's the easy one, right? Like, we can automatically stick that on the board. I get it. Okay.
And
Refs.
the
kicking is out of control. And I was
the
about to say,
amount of balls that hit the fucking post is just,
doink.
It is not, you have to understand that statistics is not it is a statistical outlier for the number of balls to hit the upright.
That's hit it this year. Yeah.
And not even just this year, though. But this year it has been.
But the kicking this year has been crazy. But it's been that way for a little while. It's been building up to this kicker thing.
And just like Brian said, K balls. The kicking balls are not the same as the balls that they're using on non-kicking plays. They're
right. I remember that. Yeah.
And it's not. I mean, magnets is not even high technology. You're not.
Right.
It's like that is old technology. It's
right.
not hard to just send a ball using those beams away from it. You can either repel it away from it or you can attract it to it.
I mean, sometimes the ball turns so hard in midair. Woof! It's like, whoa, that shit just curved like a curveball. Come on. Yeah. Oh, and then you go, and then the first thing I do every time that happens is I go look at the wind of the kick, because you can always look that up. How windy was it during that kick? Sometimes, yes, it's like, okay, you can do the wind excuse, but sometimes,
But then they'll say, well, come on, you just don't understand physics. The spin of the ball. Okay, you can draw the ball or even fade the ball with a certain type of kick for sure.
But a hard curve in the middle of it, no.
Yeah, a hook like that.
That shit's going straight and then.
Yeah.
No.
Like S curves. I've seen a Jacksonville kicker with an S curve. Like, what? It went out and then came back and then went back out. Like, stuff like that is like, what? It was wind, but the wind is changing directions in the air too. Like, I mean,
bro.
For thinking like that, of course.
So, yeah, of course, dangerous thinking, right? So those would be our two on the board. My only third one would be
coaching.
Coaching
and quarterback.
Maybe I got forward in. Yeah, coaching.
Because quarterbacks is where it all is.
Well, I was going to go to I was going to say, piggybacking off of saying quarterbacks, designated players. So it's never it can't be just one. There are other people on that field involved with some of this. You know what I mean? And people keep underestimating what money can make somebody do, man. Keep underestimating, and don't say that I'm projecting either. Okay.
No, I started a new account on Twitter called Bad Beats, and it's just like all of the gambling coincidences at the end of a game.
Oh, listen, that's good.
No business taking a safety at the end of the game, Chiefs and Texans.
Oh, come on now. Thank you for
and the line was 8.5 or 9.5 all week.
So that's the thing right there that nobody can explain. Nobody can explain the coincidence. See, this is the thing about people who always want to chalk stuff up to coincidences. I'm not saying coincidence don't happen.
If you're on Twitter, it's at Pro Sports Troll, but the double L is 2 1s.
Send me a message on there, G. I gotta follow that.
I've only got a couple followers so far, but all I do is post like
coincidences.
The most recent one is just last night. Timberwolves -3.5, up 4 with 3 seconds left, and then Kyrie shoots a 3 at the buzzer beater. They're either going to lose by 1 or lose by 4 if he misses this. So actually, no effect on the game, but it affected everybody who had Timberwolves -3.5.
-3, yeah. You can't.
It still loses the game, but fucks all the gamblers.
Fuck all the gambling up.
I mean, and I've just got a whole timeline. It's literally just all end of game coincidences
that page
that do not change the outcome of the game. But it changes the outcome of the
bets. Look, like the thing with the kicker is the punter running out like that. Come on, people.
Come on, man. They had no reason to take that safety. The game was over. They could even if you punt it and they score a touchdown, you still won the game. So why not just punt it?
and please, if you've got a better idea, or leave it in the comments. I would like to see what
I
people
want to hear
think
somebody's
about.
reasoning for that safety, other than it's
Right.
a gambling fix, because
Uh,
that's honestly the only real
and
explanation.
I've mauled around with it with people that don't even really like to go there with things, and they still were like, yeah, it had no outcome on the game. We've seen people take the safety before. I'm not saying I understand that,
In
but
certain situations, it makes sense.
certain
It really
situations, I
blows
get
through.
it. The fact that it had a drastic outcome on one side of betting,
Right.
and clearly not the side that was going to sink Vegas.
Right. Well,
And
I
I'm
mean,
not saying
it was
Vegas takes
beneficial.
losses sometimes, of course, but listen, you don't stick around this. You don't stick around in this game for as long as you have by taking a lot of losses. You don't build all those big, beautiful buildings and casinos in Vegas by taking a lot of L's, bro. Okay, all right. So please understand that first and foremost. All right. So they're gonna take some. They're gonna have some bad days, but they have a lot of good days. A lot of good days. But anyway, look, I'm not trying to ruin this moment for any.
I do want to get back to one point because we just
Oh yeah, my bad. Go
got
ahead.
off on a tangent and just rolled with it,
We do that sometimes.
but it branched off of the NFL is one institution that is an example. Like, I'm not all about blaming systemic racism or institutional racism on every fucking thing. It
Yeah,
doesn't apply to every fucking thing. But this is the balancing act. I gotta call it how I see it. The NFL is a clear example of
absolutely.
racial division. I mean, even the end racism, like, why do you even need to say that? That's like it's bringing it up in such a way to polarize the conversation again, right?
Yeah, you're not making any change by having in racism on the back of your helmet, man.
Yeah.
Like, and giving us Jay
But
Z
then,
to just
yeah,
curate
but then
super.
treating Lamar Jackson the way the way they do,
Yeah,
it's just
yeah. But I see it because Jayden also reminds me of the type of brother that they like. Good Christian boy.
that was another one of my points.
Good Christian boy who just says, who gives all his thanks to God every day, and he
That's
goes about his work as he
I
should.
said
He's a
that.
good kid, man. Good kid.
That's,
He loves the game. So
yeah,
he's perfect, G. You're right. Yeah, listen,
I said
if
that.
this happens, boy, I gotta give it to you on this one. I mean, it's not that it's that hard to kind of call, but it's the timing of when you called it that I gotta give it to you if it shakes out this way. We'll see though. Cause I'm back, you know me. It is what it is. There's that fan side of me where I'm like, look, man, I just want to. We've been down for so long, and not just down, but just an embarrassment, just a
But
stepping,
hold
just
on.
stepped on.
That what you just said is a real balancing point and a discernment that I want to emphasize is like that's exactly what I said. And like he's a well-spoken brother. Like
Yep.
he's got the proper mannerisms, so they can put him out there, make him their star. See, we aren't racist. Look how we promote this Russell Wilson and Pat
Yeah.
Mahomes, and
Yeah.
it's all
Yep.
ones that act the way they
It's
want them to act.
exactly. Well,
And
we need to start out.
that's racism, and I mean it's
It's
culturalism
exactly,
at the very
exactly.
least, right?
Exactly. But these are the tricks and the tactics that I try to also segue into a lot of the heavier topics that we talk about, because it's like these entities, you think this is the only entity that pumps a lot of money into PR and psychology and sociology to
Oh
make
yeah.
sure that
Oh,
they.
the NFL is hand in hand with the MK Ultra and CIA, bro.
Yeah. Oh,
Bread and
well, look,
circuses. Bread and circuses, son.
listen. You don't get these kind of deals with these networks unless you are.
I mean, the military, they were literally sponsored by the whole 9/11 thing, and then the Patriots.
Oh, as long as they drug that stuff out. Yeah, 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 yeah. They
The
did that.
Patriots.
Yeah.
The Patriots, the red, white, and blue Patriots go on a
Yeah.
dynasty run right after 2001 and 9/11. Military appreciation, all sorts of wearing the camo jerseys for, they did that
And
for
they'll
a long
they'll
time.
continue to milk that, but they've been plugged into that for a while, man.
Oh,
Yeah, absolutely.
it's a military operation. It is
Yeah, very
100%.
good point. And also thinking about like guys like Anyway, whatever. I'm not even getting into that, but yeah, you're right about some of these military guys. They get plugged into some of those positions too. There. Now a lot of it is just pure nepotism from football lifers, and the Grutens and the Schottenheimers and all.
The Rooney. I mean, some of them are still good people, but hey, it is what it is. They're
Yeah,
alive.
yeah, yeah. No, for sure. Listen, they tell you their identities very well. We all know that Pittsburgh and the Rooneys clearly are about us. That's what they do. I mean, that's clear and obvious. There are some organizations where that it's not. The Giants being one of them. All right. Good luck with that, Giants fans.
Patriots,
but
one of them.
Yeah, Patriots too. Exactly. They almost lean. It's like these identities that that they kind of happily lean into in a way, or they want to
There's
be
templates. It's templates.
Templates, yeah.
Just like back in the day. Look, the Vikings are a perfect example of this. They had Randy Moss back in the day, never could quite win the Super Bowl, but real fantastic offense, always making the playoffs, losing a first or second round, star receiver, right? Same model they got now.
Right.
Same
Jefferson,
model.
You're so right. Gee. You're so right. Look at the script that we're on right now. You know what script we're on right now? What template we're on right now?
What's that?
2012, baby.
Oh, RG3.
Here, so G.
But
hold on. If RG3 did not get hurt in that Seattle game, we were up 14-0. Unstoppable offense a year. Similar offense.
No, they wanted RG3 to be what Daniels is becoming, but just like my boy said back in the day, man, yeah, they're cursed. It's a cursed franchise. When Snyder owned the team, even when the NFL was trying to set it up for him, devastating injury.
Wait a second. So gee,
it's like there really is a like
there really is a curse then, because they got
it's like Dr. Luke said, like yes, there's fixing at the Vegas level, there's fixing at the organizational level,
but then there's the spiritual,
there's a divine element to the fixing.
Yeah,
and that to me, you can't fix an ACL tear. You're not trying to get one of your star players.
Yeah, exactly.
The NFL does not want that.
How many quarterbacks hurt their knee, same injury at the same part of the field?
Right.
On our team. How can you explain that any other way?
Alex Smith, same thing happened, right?
Alex Smith, Joe Theismann. I mean, come on,
there's a divine
so what do you
we're in a simulation.
So do you think that like in the simulation, they really saw Dan Snyder as the virus? Like, what made Dan not fight harder to stay? What made him just give in and actually
they had because it's blackmail.
Right.
It's one nation. It's one nation under blackmail. Now, the reason it took so long is because he had a lot of blackmail on him.
Yeah.
So they had to acquire a lot to say, all right, you got yours, but here's what's going to come out if you put any of that out.
Yeah.
Went, ooh, okay, all right, y'all got me by the short hair. But it took them a while. It took them years because they wanted him gone in like 2019, 2018.
Yeah. And when they first changed, and when all that heat from FedEx was first coming.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's when they wanted him out, and it took basically 6 years.
From there.
So how much dirt does he have on them that he was like, all right, they had to come to some agreement, some sign,
Man, like when you said that, I was like, yes, with all the stuff that was happening with us, like it was almost like
the curse was lifted when Magic Johnson became a minority owner, and they got Josh Harris, who's just a solid company kind of guy, corporate guy, who owns other sports teams, so he knows how the business works. You know what I'm saying? Shook hands with the right people, got Magic in there, which was clutch. The whole magical season, right? There's something to all that.
But no, I want to go back to something you said though, because I'm fascinated by this because as much as we're talking about the template with us is very similar to 2012. Now, Jayden's a better passer and far along as a passer.
I don't think he's going to get hurt. I don't think y'all are cursed anymore. I think the curse has already been lifted. Just that.
So, G, tell me what you think about this curse thing. Like, do you like there really was like we talk about templates and fixing and stuff, but like for some of the stuff, and I'm specifically talking about us because I don't think there's any bigger coincidence than the amount of quarterbacks that got hurt with the same injury on the same yard line, on the same side of the field. Same yard line, same side of the field, same injury. You cannot. The only way to make that happen consistently is if this is really a simulation and you are really plugging a code into the computer for that to happen. You can't explain it any other way except spiritually. And then that goes into maybe spiritually there's something going on there too. I don't know. Tell me what you think about that though, because how does that happen with that amount of people at the same part of the field? I think one thing was like it was exactly, the Alex Smith one was the same day. The same date.
As Joe Theismann.
Yes.
But no, have you seen the meme, like the comparisons between the Abraham Lincoln and John F. Kennedy assassinations? Some of those, I mean, I don't remember them because it's been so long since I've seen the meme, but it was the same reaction from me. It was just like, whoa. You know what I'm saying?
Interesting. Like, it's just I haven't, but interesting.
I can Google. Well, go ahead.
I fuck with JFK, man. I kind of think I know what he was trying to do and why he got popped. So I mean, we all know he got popped by them, but I think I know why, and it makes me kind of fuck with him even harder. First of all, people, if they take you out, I mean, you was doing something right. You won't doing nothing wrong. Tell you that.
Okay, I think here it is. Abraham Lincoln was elected to Congress in 1846. Kennedy was elected in 1946. Lincoln was elected president in 1860. Kennedy elected president in 1960. Both were particularly concerned with civil rights. Both wives lost a child while living in the White House. Both presidents were shot on a Friday. Both presidents were shot in the head. Now it gets really weird. Lincoln's secretary was named Kennedy. Kennedy's secretary was named Lincoln. Both were assassinated by Southerners. Both were succeeded by Southerners named Johnson. Andrew Johnson, who succeeded Lincoln, was born in 1808. Lyndon Johnson, who succeeded Kennedy, was born in 1908. John Wilkes Booth, who assassinated Lincoln, born in 1839. Lee Harvey Oswald, who assassinated Kennedy, born in 1939. Both assassins were known by their three names. Both names are composed of 15 letters. Now hang on to your seat. Lincoln was shot at a theater named Ford. Kennedy was shot in a car called Lincoln, made by Ford.
They're playing with us.
Booth and Oswald were assassinated before their trials. And here's the kicker. A week before Lincoln was shot, he was in Monroe, Maryland. A week before Kennedy was shot, he was with Marilyn Monroe. And Lincoln was shot in a theater, and the assassin ran to a warehouse. Kennedy was shot from a warehouse, and the assassin ran to a theater.
You got to be kidding me. My cat meowed the second you said that, by the way. Like what?
So HV, and I might be with her on this one. This is one of the ones I might agree with her. She thinks like all of it's fucking staged. These are all just characters being played by multiple people.
Right. That fill these storylines. That fill these storylines.
The synchronicity, so to speak.
Okay. Wow. First of all. Second of all, you know what? There's always kind of been a part of me that kind of thinks that she's onto something with that.
No, I actually agree with that one.
Yeah.
I don't agree with her, but I agree with her on that one.
Yes. Now, with that being said, so first of all, there's two things there. If you still think that that's
so just the reason I even did that is because there's a similar meme with the Theismann and Smith injury.
No, right, but
it's just like how many coincidences can line up and it just be called a coincidence at that point.
But so there is all of those similarities to Theismann and Smith, but I mean to Theismann and yeah, Smith, but that that all that shit that he got done to his leg, that ain't I don't think that's made up. I don't think that's I just
Yeah, no, I know. No, that's where it becomes like the reality of the simulation. Like it's a paradox. Like the simulation is reality. You know what I mean? Like, yes, his leg really got shredded, but that's because we really live in a simulation. You know what I mean? Like it was really written.
bruh, it's the only thing that makes sense,
The
G,
code
because
is behind all of this. You know what I mean?
you
Like we
cannot
are covered.
have that many coincidence with the Kennedy thing. And then
Unless
four,
it's
like
scripted,
four
you know, unless it's literally, I mean, you almost, it has to be scripted for it to happen.
for it to happen that way.
There's intention
Just
behind that. That doesn't
just
happen by chance.
just all actors just playing their roles.
And
I
that's
get it.
the wink wink is the theater part at the end.
Yeah, yeah.
Lincoln shot in a theater, you know, and ran to a warehouse, and Kennedy's assassination was from a warehouse and then ran to a theater. I mean,
The Marilyn
theater,
Monroe thing
you
versus
know.
the other. I mean, come on,
It's
that's too
theater.
much. It's
So that
theater.
just tells you that it actually goes back that far. The whole idea of politics being the entertainment division of the
Right, right.
complex.
Right. They talk so much about crisis actors. They talk so much about other people that have been in other tragedies, being in other scenes of tragedies. I've seen a couple of them too. One of them I actually was able to look up on IMDb.
Right.
Come
Exactly.
on. Now, your G, it fascinates me because there's something metaphysical to when it's like, okay, like we know it's scripted, but that's not that the outcome of that situation is not a scripted
Right.
situation. So
No, no, no,
how
no, 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 no. So that's great. That's the point I was making when I asked Brian how much of it is not scripted.
yeah,
Because because when I see Santonio Holmes make that catch to win the Super Bowl against the Cardinals back in the day, and he just barely gets both of those feet in. I mean, just like to me, I mean, there are more spectacular catches in terms of like OBJ's catch, and there's some
yeah,
more spectacular, the David Tyree helmet catch, right?
yeah,
There's some more spectacular catches, but in terms of fundamentals and
yeah,
just, and just making a play that next gen stats would say the probability of them making that play had to have been less than 10%. I mean,
right,
Ben Roethlisberger put that ball in the only spot where it wasn't going to get deflected, and Santonio Holmes had a chance to catch it, and it was fourth down
yeah,
and he caught it and got both of those feet just barely fucking inbounds. Something tells me if he doesn't make the catch, there's a flag thrown on the play, automatic first down, Steelers still win. But the reality is, or the reality of the simulation, right?
mhm.
Regardless, he caught the fucking ball and got both feet in.
Got both feet
Holy
in.
shit.
Yeah,
That's probably and then when you factor the timing, I mean, again, the David Tyree catch was also in a Super Bowl on fourth down too, so that one might contend with it for real. But when you factor in I mean, I'll give David Tyree and Eli Manning that one, but even that one is a little more sus to me. Like, did he
yeah,
have super glue on his helmet or something?
yeah.
Like, there's something was more fishy about that one. Santonio Holmes just reached up, grabbed the ball. I mean, I understand there's a magic trick element to it, but it just was a regular fucking play that just happened to be him stretching his body full extension, the pass being right there where his hands are, where he's fully extended. And he has the body control to just come down with his feet just right beside each other and just boom, millimeters with grass blades in between his cleats and the white line.
It's
How
G.
do you rig that? Like,
So that's what
I
I'm saying.
understand there's a bigger picture rigging going on. Obviously, I'm a big proponent of that. But
Right.
just on a talent level, like how do you purely
There's
there's an
I
element of talent, there's an element of genuineness to it. And that's why you have to be talented to make the money to
To
be
make, yeah, that's why, yeah,
one of these
exactly.
act to be
Exactly.
you have to be a good actor in order to play on that
Play
stage.
the role, of course, yeah. Yeah.
But some of the things they do are still amazing,
Of
regardless,
course.
regardless of how fixed it is. I mean, that catch to me is it still blows my mind. It still
Yeah.
blows to this day. I mean, that
It
was
goes it
unbelievable.
and I've brought this up on this pod before, but it goes back something about the story that was being told in Space Jam, man. Not to mention Space Jam, all the storyline, not just the storyline, but the symbolism that was used in the term Space Jam to begin with, how they did the triangle thing and all that. But that whole thing
And
about
and
giving
and
them,
hold on. Something you always talk about. It's called Space Jam. But
Mhm,
do you remember how they discovered the monsters? The golf hole
in the golf hole.
that they dug underground.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I always talk about, yeah, it's happening underneath of us. It ain't,
But no, but
whatever this is ain't happening up there.
they
It's
called
happening.
it Space Jam. So I think there is this sort of fake or real connection between the idea of space and what's actually happening
And
underground.
what's actually happening. Oh, for sure. I bet, look, I will take that one wherever I go. That all the answers is underneath of us. Whether that's underneath of us under Iceland or the Arctic, whatever, or wherever it's at. I know they
Vietnam,
talk
a
about
lot of theories are Vietnam, which is part of the reason the whole Vietnam conflict took place.
it. It would blow my mind.
China is protecting a lot of the portals, right?
Yep. Oh yeah. Yep.
Iran and Iraq and Syria,
Yep.
all the
Yep.
all the high conflict places are protect. There's a reason for it.
For it. Absolutely. Totally agree with
It's
you.
not
And
what we're being told.
to me, some things you don't need to know everything to it. Just like what Brian said, I don't need to
I don't
know the
know how
trick.
the magician's pulling his trick off to know it's a magic trick.
Some
I know a
things you just
magic trick
know,
when I
right?
see
But it does make me think of that, almost like how they can just, like in Space Jam, they pretty much like remember when they came and took their powers, took the monsters' powers, and they couldn't ball at all. They were just regular. Like it's just it's a lot of different things that
Oh,
this is why
what
I love
about?
having these.
I wanted to ask you this. What about LeBron taking that mysterious break not that long ago, and then he comes back his first game back, he drops like 40 points. He took like a 15-day break, disappeared after the Diddy stuff. Some weird things are coming out,
Yeah,
the Drake and all that. And
it
yeah,
could be so many things, man. I
who
definitely
knows, right?
believe that these people, can just take their conscience and put it in another vessel and keep it moving. I'm not saying that I know that that's what LeBron was doing, whatever, but I'm just there was something behind it, you
Yeah, you
know.
remember
He
what I'm
look
talking
he
about? Twitter
he
was
lo- oh,
full of
of course.
where's
Listen,
LeBron?
he loads manage, and it wasn't a load manage thing. I think the Lakers are a joke of an organization. Jenny Buss is out here selling her new book and being sexy, and I mean, so I don't even think. First of all, I don't even watch the NBA no more. I haven't watched the NBA in years. I do not watch the NBA. I don't like the game. I just don't like I
I
don't like
know,
the game.
I know, I know.
So but it's easier for them to disguise and hide and kind of play this Harlem Globetrotter sort of thing and pretend like
Oh,
whatever.
the
Especially,
refs. I mean, well, basketball is just so much easier to fix
yeah, yeah, yeah,
in
yeah.
general. You just call a foul when you need to. Yeah, just
I mean, look, you got whistleblowers who already have came out and told all their stories about the NFL knows how to keep their shit. Now, there's been a couple of them, the Larry Johnsons and a couple other ones, but you've had big time referee whistleblowers in the NBA come out and talk about that shit.
right.
So that ain't even conspiracy. You got your own people coming out talking about that. So you can miss me with all that. The NFL, they that is a fraternity, man. They keep that thing pretty tight knit.
Yeah,
There are a couple loosies
yeah,
out there.
yeah,
There are.
yeah, for sure.
But they chalk them up to being crazy. Like I can't even get you know me, I don't fuck with Instagram. I don't even know what Larry Johnson been talking about. I used to enjoy Larry Johnson talking about all of his truth. Um, But I haven't. I don't know where he's at now. I know you said he's on IG or something like that, but I
Yeah.
don't.
Yeah, he's a little bit of a doomer for me, doom and gloom. But I mean, doesn't mean he's not. There aren't facts there. It doesn't mean.
Yeah. But he probably stays in that lane 24/7, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember when he was crashing out on Twitter, man. But yeah. Anyway, so um, you know, I don't it's interesting to think about, especially now because I'm so plugged in. I'm always plugged into football anyway, but plugged in and you're seeing stuff that like, come on, we know certain things we're seeing, oh, look at that, or look at that little nudge just to make sure that this, whatever. Um, but some of it, as and that's another thing. I don't want people to think that all we, it's this is not all we think about. Like, there's been a lot of balance in what we're saying. Like, like two things. I say this all the time. Two things can be true. You
Right.
can you can be doing some calibrated shit on the back end, yet still maybe some things you leave the chance. But hey, sometimes you get that call. Hey, here, the Sharks is moving heavy on this side, or the public is heavy on this side. We can't take this L this week. Make sure that this thing go the right way now.
Right. Right.
So I mean, there's so many ways to do it, but
It's
gee,
funny. My dad, he was a wild man. He always told me when it came to gambling, there's always Buster Douglas. Now we were a little young for that, but the story behind that is Mike Tyson was undefeated and on top of the world, and just like tabloids were talking about Iron Mike. It was just
yeah,
that Mike Tyson
he
was
was at his peak. He was in his prime.
was revolutionizing the world of boxing, and I think Buster Douglas was like 100 to 1 or like something absurd. Like his odds of beating Tyson were basically like it wasn't gonna happen.
Everybody in the public had their money on one side.
But
Yeah.
but and I think Mike Tyson, knowing what I know about Mike Tyson, he probably just took the fall. He was like, oh, you gonna pay me 20 mil? All right, I'll take the fall on this one. You know what I'm saying?
Did you say 20 mil?
Who
Oh,
knows? Who knows? Yeah, exactly. Who
no, no,
knows?
no, no, no. I'm saying that's what he was saying to that
That's what he was
crazy
thinking.
motherfucker that ran his shit. He was
Yeah.
like, 20 mil?
Yeah, he had
You
never seen that before, probably. He's
gonna
like,
pay
if I
me?
win, I'm only getting 1.5 mil. Shit, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, bro. So, but it's the stuff like the quarterbacks. Listen, we know about all the fixing shit, but it's the stuff like how all of those people in the same position at the same time and all of that, like that's the stuff that's just metaphysical, man. Or that's the stuff where it's like there's something else involved here
Right,
that makes that happen that way.
right.
And then boom, soon as Dan is gone, all these good fortunes. The stadium deal is about to go through back in DC. They couldn't get that thing lifted forever. We get the quarterback and then the coach, and it's just so much good. It's like all of a sudden, right? So
Because relationships matter in the real world, whether it's simulated or not. And people didn't like Dan, and they weren't going to make things happen for him.
happened for him. You're right. You're right. You're right. It's a good point.
And
And
even the one time where they were like, "Oh, you paid us enough. We'll just make it happen for you this one time because you really want it bad, and you've clearly willing to pay your dues, but
time
you
with
make
every
your own luck." And I feel like Snyder was just an ass to everybody, and
and
nobody
made and
wanted to
made it.
fuck with him,
Yeah, yeah.
and made him very unlikable to everybody. I'm
Everybody.
not the only person that hated this dude. Like, I don't even use the word hate lightly. And at the end of the day, I've never met him in person, so it's obviously everything I'm seeing is through the screen, and I gotta check myself on that. He could just be another character. But the fact that even if he's just a character, okay, I hate that fucking character.
Listen,
He really
and
is,
I've said
he's
it
the
before on
villain
this
archetype,
pod.
you know?
Anybody want to know? Anybody who doesn't understand about why Dan Snyder gets talked about the way that he does, go look up this thing called the Dysfunctional Fan Guide
The
to
disgruntled, the Washington Redskins disgruntled fans guide to Dan
this.
Snyder.
I thought it was called the Dysfunctional
Like
Fan
the A
Guide
to
of
Z or
Washington.
A to Z
A
something.
to Z.
Yeah.
A to
Yeah.
Z over the span.
Yeah.
Yeah, pull it up. Over the
A
span
to
of
Z.
1999 till I think it
Yeah.
ran till 2000. And what's so funny about this? It only ran till like 2012.
That's what's
It
crazy.
didn't capture 2012 to when he left.
It was written in November 2010, James.
Yeah, bruh. The dysfunctional. What's it called, G?
The title is The Cranky Redskins Fans Guide to Dan Snyder. I think it used to be called The Disgruntled Redskins
I
Fans
thought it was the dysfunctional, but yeah, the cranky, whatever. It's a great read. It hit Dan so hard. He got the guy. This guy, who's the author of it? What's his
The
name?
author of it, he like banned him from coming to games and shit.
He got banned. The Washington Times couldn't cover him no more or something crazy
McKenna.
like that.
Yeah,
He might have got fired. I don't know what happened, but he got all his passes revoked in DC.
Yeah,
but
Snyder had his panties in a bunch after that one.
Bro, it was the last. It was the last of the authentic button pusher beat reporters in DC.
Yeah,
because I follow this stuff very.
Anybody who criticized him, he banished.
Vanished, and they just couldn't run a legit media circuit in town for a while. You know, so anyway. Go read that guy. It's entertaining. I'm telling you.
It's literally it's like 36 stories, all just showing how much of a dickhead Dan Snyder is. And this was before he ramped up his dickheadedness.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It only goes until 2010. Yeah. So you still got.
That's only the first half of the year.
You still got 2011 to like 2022, people. Yeah. Gee, we should. Oh my God, it just gave me an idea. I should write a part 2 to that, man. I should reach out to that author, who I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think he still works for the Washington Times. I just don't think he's I think he's an editor now or something. I got to look it up, but there's got to be a part 2 to this. We're enjoying the new world right now with our team, but somebody has
the curse is lifted. We don't need to. I wouldn't even.
You're right. You don't want to
pay it any attention. Don't pay it no mind at this point.
You don't want to bring that energy back around all these good vibes.
It's funny though. It's funny to laugh at. It is.
It is. It's funny and sad at the same time, because when you read some of these stories, it's not like he was out here killing people.
No, I gotta say this because you're willing to give me credit where credit's due, and I've made all these predictions, and they might not even come to fruition. But just the fact that they beat the Lions is something.
The fact that we're 1 game away from the Super Bowl. Come on.
No, I know, and I called that.
That's insane.
Yeah, no,
I still have not been able to.
As the only team in the playoffs to win a road game so far and won 2 of them.
Only team. Listen.
Every other game, the home team has won, except the 2 games that Washington has played.
I mean, look, if we really want to make this one of these days, I've got so much bookmarked here. It's so many things that, like, between Jayden being a first and doing, or our franchise doing for the first time in a long time, or whatever. It's so many stats and
a lot of it is 33 years. You know how they love the 33, 92, right? 91, 92.
How did I not even think of that? Because this is year 30. Let me make sure it's not 34. No, 91, it's 33. No. 33. I'm tripping. 33.
91, 92. This is 24, 25.
Come on, G.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
They bathe in symbolism, numbers. We've been telling you people this forever. Research gematria. Research their symbols. They don't try to hide it from you. You just got to learn it, study it, and then connect it all. Yeah, but wow, even I've been so caught up in my fandom that I didn't even connect the 33 thing, knowing that, oh my God, it was right. Of course, 33 years, and of course we're back, right?
Right.
Oh my gosh, man.
But I say that all to say, kudos to you, man. You stuck with the team. I jumped ship, man. I jumped ship back in about 2011, right when that article was basically right after that article was written. I was like, I can't do this shit no more.
Can't do it.
This guy.
My boy Kevin Sheehan always, my radio sports talk radio guy Kevin Sheehan always says, you had to suspend reality. When we get on these shows and we talk about the team and we talk about the draft and we talk about this, that, and the third, we were going through the motion, because you had to suspend reality. You knew there was no hope. There was no hope that this was ever going to get right or fixed. And he was a 50, and not only that, he was one of the youngest owners in the league. So we thought that we were never going to get rid of this guy. He's a billionaire. He was going to live to 90. He was. Oh, it was just. I was trying
It
to find
seemed
every
like he
reason.
relished. He relished in destroying
The
y'all's
team.
hope, and
It's crazy. It's almost like
he got
yes,
off on that
yes.
on trolling his own fans.
It's it's a it's amazing to me that it. I know there's been a lot of write-ups about this.
So hold on. Let me just finish my thought.
Okay, yeah, my bad. Go ahead.
So fixed or not, you stuck with we can look at this from the perspective of it's all professional wrestling, but you still have your team, just like I got the Steelers, and even though I know it's rigged, I still root for them. And
Yeah,
you stuck with your team. I would have never stuck with Dan Snyder. I don't regret making the decision I made. But just like I told you and Kenny, now that he's gone, I don't hate y'all. Y'all are just neutral to me now.
yeah,
And I kind of like y'all because I fuck with the fans. You're one of
yeah.
you being one of them because
And you grew.
y'all
You grew
stuck
up. You
through
you
y'all went through the, I mean, outside of maybe New York Knicks fans, outside of maybe because James Dolan is
is
up
the
there
new
with Dan
next.
Snyder
Yeah,
in terms of
just ridiculousness, man.
dysfunctional, yeah, just
Yeah,
bad energy.
chaos,
Yeah,
lives in chaos, doesn't know how to lead from top down. This stuff matters, people.
right.
The leadership
And
matters, man.
yes,
Leadership and culture. I know it sounds like buzzwords sometimes, but
chemistry is look, and I've told you this before. I was born into a Redskin. My dad was a huge Redskins fan. I feel like didn't. I never even really had a choice in the matter. It was just like I was going
right.
to the Redskins, and it was just it never really felt right because in here in let me back up. Let me be clear. So I was about 10 years old when Snyder bought the team. So, when you're 10 years old, that's like right when you're becoming a big sports fan. Because before that, you might be into it, but you don't really get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So, like 9, 10, that's when you start to really get it and you become a fan. And you're really, in my case, I was really into my dad's team. In the year that I'll never forget, and I stuck with them for another 10 years basically after this. But this 2001, I think it was.
Oh, the Schottenheimer thing.
Schottenheimer, he brings in all these stars that were overage. Deion Sanders was one of them. I think Dana Stubblefield, right? Uh, and they didn't click. They didn't gel. Their chemistry wasn't there. Too many egos. But Schottenheimer was a hell of a coach. So even though they started 0-5, he finished the season 8-3, and they
I
finished
know.
8-8.
I know.
And Snyder fired him because
He wasn't having fun.
it was a personal issue. He had
Yeah, yeah. He was.
just
Yeah.
some bitch
The
shit. Is
word.
what it
The
was.
word. The word is he wanted somebody else to be the GM
He wanted a
and
yes
shot.
man. He
Yeah, he
wanted a
wanted a
yes
yes man.
man
And
instead of
Schottenheimer.
somebody who knew what the fuck they were doing. And that was my first one. I was only like 12 years old. I had only been a bit. I was only a diehard Redskin fan for like 3 years. Because after that year, it was already watered down. It was like, I don't fuck with this owner. I don't like that he fired Schottenheimer. And then it was antic after fucking
Antic.
it was getting Gibbs back, right? And then Jim Zorn, Steve Spurrier. It was all bullshit looking back on it.
Bro, the Zorn thing was just because he literally fucked up and did not hire a coach when the coaches were available. He literally got caught with his pants down and had to just
It was dysfunction at
it was at his highest
at
accord.
every turn.
At
And
his highest
it
accord.
became for me unpalatable. I mean, at that time I thought it was all real too, so it was even worse, you know.
Yeah,
Just like
yeah, yeah.
fuck this guy, you know what I mean? Like
No, but see that was real.
right,
The incompetence was real.
right.
Like the NFL would have still Schottenheimer would have had us greased up for the next 10 years, bruh.
Yes.
Like,
They, I
oh
think, I think the
man.
NFL would have gone with that because Schottenheimer's in with the good old boy club,
Yes.
but he's also a real dude. He's disciplinarian
Yep.
and not, I mean, but an old school more, this is 20 some years ago too. So it was a different atmosphere, but like he was a good coach. He was a solid coach.
Yeah.
He had just come off of or I think it was right after that or right before that. He was like 14-2 with the Chargers and LT.
Yes.
I was like,
Yes.
That was right after. Yeah, he left the Redskins and then went 14-2. It's like you had the coach, dude. You had the coach, and you got rid of him because
Listen,
you had your
everybody in this
pennies on
fan
him.
base that understands the history talk that as
That
again,
year, I remember, I'll never forget that because I think I turned 12 that year, and
it just didn't make sense.
it was never the same after that. It was
It
never
never, yeah,
even the year they made the playoffs. I think it was with Gibbs. The one, the one time they won, one of the two times I think they won a playoff game under Snyder. It was like, even when they won that game, it
it
was like
was,
I knew they were going to get beat the next week because they were playing, the Packers or whoever was dominating at the
yeah.
time. It
And
was just like,
Gibbs left right after that, man, because the whole thing was just a show. He just,
he knew it too. He was like, I'm done with this gimmick. Gimmick was the word I was looking for. Gimmick.
yeah,
It was
yeah,
gimmick after gimmick after gimmick, and it was just. And then I met my boy Aaron in college, and he was a Steeler fan, and we would have some conversations about it, and it was just like they have such solid ownership. They've
yeah.
had three
That's where
coaches
it starts.
literally their entire
Like
existence. And
people,
and as a Steeler fan, I'm unpopular opinion among the Steeler fans right now is they're talking about firing Tomlin like
Tomlin, yeah,
come
yeah.
on, man.
They
Y'all
call,
are,
they
y'all
call,
are clearly a spoiled fan base. If y'all think this guy needs, I went through Snyder for 10 years. I can tell
yeah. See,
you, man,
but G, what you just said,
because
what
they're
you
so
just
used to winning Super
That's
Bowl.
what I'm saying. People don't understand. People don't understand what this is until you've been here, man. So y'all go ahead and let them go if you want to.
Yeah,
You
no,
know,
that would be the dumbest
like,
move.
hey, like I said to the Kirk Cousins thing, because everybody here knows that I did root for Kirk when he left, and I followed Minnesota very close. That's the closest I probably
Did
came
you did you root
to
for Atlanta this year?
Oh, I was watching my boy, but
He
he
fell
won
apart.
himself this year. He
Yeah,
won himself this year, and I'm not trying to make excuses for him. I think I know what was going on there, and we'll see if he got some more in him in the right situation next year. I thought Atlanta was going to be the right situation, but he should have just stayed in Minnesota and bridged it for McCarthy
I
and
mean,
let
he got
whatever.
paid. He got paid.
Oh no, listen, that's why he went to Atlanta. I
Exactly.
mean, people keep talking about him taking all this money. Why don't you talk to these teams that keep offering him this fucking money? How about that? You want to be
Exactly.
mad at somebody about something? What is
Right.
he supposed to do? Turn down 100 million?
Yeah.
Now look, talking about I know what we were talking about. How spoiled the fan bases are that haven't felt what it's like to be like
No,
this.
that's why as much as so the reason I'm gonna stick with the Steelers is because I don't feel like I mean, first of all, to me, you only get one change in your life. Like I inherited the Redskins and I didn't want to be a part of that. And okay, I can pick my own team and I picked my own
But G
was
Dan
to,
is
if I was to change again, I would feel like a fair weather fan. So
yeah, I feel you.
I'm gonna stick with my team because of my story of having to deal with Dan for
Yeah,
those 10, 12 years, and I wanted a team with solid ownership. So
yeah.
I'm not going to go back, but I will say this. I like the Washington fans more than the Pittsburgh fans because these fans that are talking about fire Tomlin are pissing me off
No, I know, G. But G, you feel that way
because of what I went
you
through
because of what you've
being a
been through.
Redskin fan. Yeah.
So you looking at them like, are you fucking dumb? Do
Yeah.
you do you
Do
want to
you
know what
want to
it's
go 4-13 for a few
do
years?
you want to cycle through 1,000 coaches, 1,000 quarterbacks, incompetent, embarrassing ownership, cheap ownership? Do you really want that? Like,
Right.
so I get it, Pittsburgh. I get it, man. But how about finding a solution to the problem? Tomlin needs to figure out this offense situation that he has an issue with every year. They got to figure it out, but you figure it the fuck out with someone who can take care of everything else. But they got to figure out the offense. I agree with that. But the fire and Tomlin, we just live in this age, man. It's the same issue I have with the NFL and how they develop quarterbacks, which first of all, develop quarterbacks is hilarious because they don't develop quarterbacks.
Exactly.
Like
Yeah. Look
and,
at Baker
and
Mayfield and Sam Darnold are perfect examples.
so many people you give up on early. And you know,
I think Drew Lock is the next one in that fold.
Drew.
In that
We talked about this.
Yeah, in that they threw him away, but he's still hanging around. And if he gets the right opportunity, like Baker got, like Sam Darnold got, I think Drew Lock could be a dog in the right place.
Absolutely, and I 100% agree with you.
Yes.
I 100% agree with you. And but my thing where I was going with that was just this impatient, and it's only gotten worse, G. Back in the day, at least you could draft a quarterback and give him develop it, give him some time, let him mold. Bruh, now, and I'm not saying that everybody needs that treatment. Some people are Jayden Daniels and can just go out here and ball their first year. I get it. But not everybody is that.
Anthony Richardson is a perfect example of what you're talking about.
Oh, man, give that man a little bit more time, man. Come on, keep building him into this thing.
Agree.
Come on, people. And, the Colts are probably going to have a short leash on him next year. And he'll go into the cycle of dispensables. It's asinine to think that every quarterback that you draft is just going to come in day one and just be a superstar. Some people you got to mold and build, man.
Right, some of these organizations have to lose. You got two teams, one of them's got to lose every week.
That's true. Exactly.
Can't all be superstars. Like some of them, they might be really good quarterbacks, but they got to lose because they're playing Patrick Mahomes or Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen or what it is.
Come on with the Mark Andrews.
Oh yeah, we gotta cover that before we hop off.
Not buying it.
Yeah,
Sorry, people.
You think
not buying it?
You think he's one of these key players that just?
Now, G, let me tell you something.
He's in on it. He doesn't drop that pass. 999 out of 1,000 times.
G. Not only that, two of them things. Come on now. And guess what gets to go on for another year?
Lamar can't
win the narrative on Lamar.
Yeah, Lamar can't win the big game.
Lamar can't win the big one. Can't do it.
Yeah.
He's a running back that just can't do it. Sorry, guys.
Glorified running back. Yeah, exactly.
Sorry, guys. Yeah. I'm not,
49 touchdowns or whatever it was, 4 interceptions, 4,900 yards or whatever, 900 yards.
Can't stop them unless somebody stops them for you.
Yeah, unless they stop themselves, right? And that's what happens every year with them.
Even if it is on the inside.
Yep.
So, unfortunately, Lamar, you got to go into this shit again, man, and just do this shit again, man, and try to do it again, bro. But
there's people that can see through the
one day somebody is going to come out and they're going to talk, and they're going to talk a lot more, and they're going to be more higher profile. See, right now, the people that come out and talk about this NFL stuff, they're all players that get cut.
Like Benny Cunningham and shit. Yeah, and people,
they're just
mad because they got cut.
He's just mad because he got cut. Yeah. Oh, look at him. He's mad. It's just the perfect, like they've been doing it so well, Like I always give the government crowd, the powers that be. I'm always like, man, how do you do this thing, man? Damn.
Find it really well.
It's crazy. It's like, I hate you motherfuckers, but damn, I got to give you some credit. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, good Lord, man. Yeah. So anyway, look, you know where I'll be at Sunday, locked in.
I'll be over there. I got to work, but I'll be over. I should, based on the time I get off and the commute from there to Kenny's, I'm guessing it'll be like right at the end of the third quarter, start of the fourth quarter.
Oh, you got to work that late?
Yeah.
Damn. Well, if it's playing
I'll catch the end of the game with y'all. I'm sure it'll be close. I'm sure I'll be walking into.
I was just about to say, if it plays out how I think it's going to play out, this is going to go down to the wire.
Last possession. Yeah.
Wire, and it's going to
the Cardiac Commanders. That's y'all's brand now.
Yes. So think about this. And I was just talking about this last week or maybe even this week? I was like, yo, when did we get, like this really is our name now? Like, it's sticking. Like that's like the national media is calling us that now. Like, that's our name. Like, when did this happen? And I was like, I kind of heard it, but at the time I was like, oh, that's just what our local people are saying because, oh man, cardiac command. Next thing I know, it's like, man, everyone's saying this right now. The like I said, G, I'll take this. I'll take it. If that's part of what's written in the script, they're going to be, and they shall be known as the cardiac commanders from this day forth. Hey, you know what?
Long as we're winning, I'll take it.
Hey, if we're winning, it makes this dumbass name that I got to carry around sound a lot better too. I mean, cardiac commanders is kind of cool, man. I like that better than commanders. It's just the commies or whatever.
They're the commies. They're still the commies to me, and they'll always be the Redskins to me. But that's just
that was Dan's last. I can't get out of anybody's way. Fuck, like I'm gonna find a way to just fuck everybody. That was Dan's last. That was
his middle finger on the way out.
On the way out, to just leave us stuck with it. And then of course, G, because
ass for 20 some years. Here's one last pound.
And guess what? Because we're now winning with this brand, they're probably not going to change the name. The chances of that happening now is really slim to none. If we were still losing under this brand, a marketing firm would come in and say, hey, I ain't build up no brand equity and no commanders. You can gut this shit right now and restart again if you want to. But now it's kind of like, oh, Jayden in the first year back, 33 years, and we may be we're probably moving back to DC, and all of this good stuff's happening under the commander's name. She probably ain't going nowhere, bro.
We'll see. I do think the name is interesting with, they're talking about Trump is I already said all this, but it's just interesting. Trump,
it is
the golden age. And then obviously the president is in DC, and he's the commander in chief.
The big one for me is the VR thing, man.
Yeah.
Jayden being the face of that, this being the thing. Like think about how big this will be for people this time next year. Like high school kids, college kids, like spending so much money on these specialized VR goggles to help them in their fields. You know what I mean? It's like Jayden's going to be the face of that. And the fact that like one of the first things when Trump got in was that big $500 million pledge to AI and all of that. Remember? Like this thing is
the AI monster is out the what do they call it?
And I told you the reason why I don't think they let Trump in the last time was because they weren't ready for him. They weren't ready. They weren't ready yet. They had to have
him. The box is open and yeah, the can of worms is open now. Yep.
It's we're here and it's ready to go. Whatever it is they've been working on is ready to go. It's ready to go. Yep. So anyway, man, anyway. Oh, but that bad beats thing, that could be a thing because I'm trying to start this whole media thing, man. I know I've been talking about it for a while, whatever though. I'm actually getting things in order now to actually do it. I've been stuck with this house doing other things. Not making excuses, but regardless, what a special segment that could be though. Like we're talking about
just go on. I mean, I spent some time. I'm gonna try to be on there every day and at least post one or two bad beats.
One or two, just ones that stand out to you.
I mean, there was one day where I just searched it and went through and posted all the ones that just seemed like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like one of them I remember I had. It was 2 seasons ago, right? It was like week 17 or 18. Jets and Dolphins. This was before Aaron Rodgers. It was like Zach Wilson, or this was probably the year where who was that other quarterback for the Jets for a while when Zach Wilson got hurt. But anyways, that's not even really the point. And then the Dolphins and Tua was hurt. So it was like kind of a garbage game. It was like Skylar Thompson versus like I can't even think of that quarterback that was playing for the Jets now. He was
Skylar Thompson. Oh my gosh. And then the Jets go and pick him up. Like, what is
the Steelers picked him up? Which
it was y'all, yeah.
Don't even get me started on that.
I don't even understand the point of that. Even to run my practice squad, I would go get somebody else.
Well, I didn't understand the Vikings getting Daniel Jones either. Like, some people are just
Let me tell you why. Because they're not going to bring back. Let me tell you why they did that. They're not going to bring back other things. Sam Darnold is going to be somewhere else next year, guarantee it. And J.J. McCarthy is 50-50. He may or may not be good. And if he's not, guess what? You got a veteran that can play in a system where you probably can extract some good numbers from him. Listen, Kevin O'Connell is a good coach, man. He can dial that shit up clearly. You know, another coach that we had in Washington, and I could go on and on about that anyway. But yeah, bro, Sam Darnold's not going to be there next year, and they're going to watch. It's going to be him and JJ and Don and other things. Going to be the veteran guy that can, I think that's going to happen. But yeah, I didn't understand y'all picking up Skylar Thompson. I'm like, why?
I don't even. We got to the Skylar Thompson. We got to jump to another topic. We can't talk about that.
Yeah,
we can't talk about that. What do you think about? All right, so outside of the whole sports thing, we covered that. What's going on, man? Like, what do you think about the inauguration and what's going on in your world? What's going on outside of the Commanders?
Well, other than me playing dad to two new cats and kitties and finishing up other little ends and stuff with the house and working on this new plan for this year and inauguration wise, man, look, I haven't made it any secret, bro.
No, it's all theater.
Yeah, it's theater, but I'd rather have this theater in there, and I'd rather have this theater in there. Whatever, it's not a secret anymore at this point.
All the same theater to me.
No, and I know that, G, and G, I trust me. You know that when I really want to get deep with this whole thing, like I understand. For all I know, they're all cousins anyway, including Trump. And if he's not, whatever, they're still plugged in.
Like B.O.B. said, cahoots.
Yeah,
everybody's in cahoots.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. But I've always said this. I've always tried to say, okay, well, look. He plays the role well, okay? He makes me feel like just same way he makes a lot of people feel. People that get so tied into the media and the propaganda. And he talks shit about
the other side of polarity, though, James. He's just the other side of that. He's just the flip side of that negativity.
I know that, bro. But what begins to happen, G, what begins to happen, my brother, is that because they only give you two sides,
right?
The other side, you start to have all the stuff that goes on with them, especially, again, and I've always said this to you, especially aimed at our community, the pandering, the gist, oh, we already know we got them. We could tell them ignoramuses anything. We got them. That's the stuff that will always. Gee, remember, I'm really contrarian with some of this stuff. Oh, Trump is this, and the people that follow him are that. Okay, well, how about I go to Trump's hotel or Trump's winery, and you know what I'm saying? I love doing that kind of stuff. So we have all of these people drinking the water of Kamala and Biden, the mockery, people, of them to put that man in office, and you sit there and drink that water. You sit there. They don't even give you the option to pick Kamala. They just literally backdoored you. You didn't even see it. Slid her in as the main person, and y'all just, oh, it was Biden. Oh, no, it's not Biden anymore. It's Kamala. Yes, okay. Just sheepled type stuff. The pandering, bro. Right. It's sickening. It's next level. And to be honest, I've said this on earlier pods. I'm not even mad at them anymore. I'm mad. I'm my eyebrows raised to y'all. Like, what you mean? I'm not even mad at them no more. They are what they are, and they play the games they play. Why are you still drinking that Kool-Aid?
Right.
Is my thing. So that alone,
but here's the problem, James. Like you said, they only give you two choices, and the other choice isn't better. I know you think it's better, but it's not.
I don't really think it's better. I think that it's this sort of rebellion to my people where it's like, y'all gotta stop with that liberal shit, man. Stop. Like, and I'm not saying you
Here
gotta
it is.
be the other side.
I found it. We are now in the state of a great deception where facts are not facts and reality is perception, and everything you read on your feed is feed, and politicians cross party lines that keep us deceived. You see, historically, black people have been traditional, but white Democrats say blacks have to be liberal. So we adopt the policy or adopt and it has a question mark, but I think he's like, so we adopt the view trying to avoid a fall. But if you handpicked our choice, then that's not a choice at all. And what about Republicans? They just want to divide us. Yes, they're racist too, but they don't pretend to like us. So we don't pretend to be friends. And then you can imagine where it goes from there. But it's basically the gist of what you're getting at, right?
Yeah. And the racist thing is it's hilarious to me how someone will say Trump's racist as if Biden didn't lock more niggas up than anybody in presidential history back in the day. So shut up with that nonsense. Like they're not worse or the same. It doesn't matter who's worse.
The same at best. Right?
Yeah, exactly. Like stop. Like, and again, do your history on when the bait and switch happened between us being conservative and us becoming liberal. And again, just like your boy
Johnson, right? It was Lyndon Johnson and the Great Society of Civil Rights Movement.
Yes, bruh. They knew. They knew after Oklahoma happened. Oklahoma is when we had our own Wall Street over there. It was thriving. Own businesses, own cars, own economy. And it was burned down to the ground, and somebody who just listens to whatever would go and tell you, well, that's what they do. They would try to tie it to anything. It's not. It's a group. It's a bloodline of people, man. They work together to keep this power, to hold this stuff. And my thing is, it's not that I'm choosing one side or the other. It's me almost rebelling because,
it's you being Kanye. It's your Kanye phase.
Yes, but to add to that, when something has gone so far left or so far right, the only way to bring it back to the middle is if you got to be a little radical, bro. And if part of being radical is for you to see that you do not need to be drinking out that well over there anymore, I'm not telling you to go drink out the other well either. I'm just saying don't drink out that well, though.
It's clearly poison. You can believe what you want about this other well. I think it's poison too, but that one's definitely fucking poison.
Come on now, bro. Oh, and then the other side panders too. They had Rick Ross and Nelly and all these other guys at the
100. Bro, that's right, James. That's where we disagree a little bit because I don't play this game where I'm gonna give the Republicans this more leeway than the Democrats. No, they get the same criticism. They get the same fuck you from me because they're playing us in a different way.
90. I'm being realistic here. I could say 99%, which is what I want to say, but let's just say about 80 to 90% of our people. It don't matter what nigga you float up on stage with Trump. They're going to look at them as a coon. It don't matter.
100%.
Off rip. 100%. It don't matter. Rick Ross, Kodak Black, anybody who fuck with Trump. It don't matter. Hip hop, rap, trap, black, dark skin, light. It don't matter. They're going to put you in the same category. So here's my thing about their pandering. I get what you're saying, G, but it's hard to say that they're actually trying to pander to us when us showing our face for Trump or somebody on that side gets us exiled from our own community. So what pandering are they really doing? You can't be a public figure in the black community and go shake Trump's hand. Ice Cube couldn't even sit down with Trump and read his platinum plan without Lil Wayne couldn't even go have a conversation. He couldn't even tell his people.
I see what you're saying.
It's different, G.
It is.
The liberals, they already know.
I'm speaking as a white guy.
Yeah. No, I don't mean like you're speaking, but you know what I'm saying. Yeah, you're speaking as a white guy. Shut up. You can't chime in on this, white boy. Yeah, we got a lot of us out there that would do that shit to you so quick. Anyway, so listen, you can, it is true, bruh. You can bring Sexy Red out there, the ratchetest of the ratchetest, to shake her ass on stage. Megan Stout. Oh, you can bring whoever out there is a liberal, and that shit is dope. Oh man, them niggas, yeah. Anybody go out there on stage with Trump, bruh, you are a traitor, a coon, every word you can think of, bruh. Trust me on this. So,
yeah.
So even if their attempt was to pander, you're actually not. No, the people that choose to go on stage with Trump actually want to be there, bro. I don't care. Now, you can say, yeah, they got paid and maybe they all need. That might be true. Right. But let me tell you something. Rick Ross is he is a hip. These aren't just like Drake's, where it's kind of like you can float into any world as a chameleon. Their whole brand is built off of hood royalty and like hood billionaire shit and like
the culture,
rich nigga shit and all the other, you know what I'm saying? So
drug dealing culture. Bro.
Yeah.
Selling cocaine.
It's like, nah, bro. They know what the same thing that all the other Black Americans know. That kind of low key. G, listen, I know what you're going to say, but I don't know, man. I don't know what you want me to say, bro. Trump's a good actor, man. He's a good actor. He plays that role well. And you know what? When it comes down to this presidential shit, which is all bullshit anyway, but when it comes down to that presidential shit, look, like I said, bro, there's a couple things at play here with that whole thing, and they all eat at the same table, G. Listen. I understand. You saw this
video with Barack and Trump rubbing elbows, right?
Oh, look. Come on, people.
Yeah, I mean, hey, it is what it is.
I mean, and how about Trump's wife? I mean, if I was Trump, even if you were picked for me and if you don't be here, fuck on then. I'm saying, like, she clearly don't fuck with him and she don't want to be there. So why does he I don't even know why he keep her around. To be honest, it makes him look like a cuck low key. And I don't think
there could be some sort of, old school arranged marriage behind that or something. Who knows?
You know what? You might be on to something there because they play in a different space.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You're right. But anyway, what do I think of it, G? I think it is like I said, they're ready.
Yeah,
they're ready.
The
they're
AI ready to move machine the switch has been turned on.
They're ready to move forward, people. Let me tell you something. $500 million in AI.
Billion.
It's just about to be the most rapid evolution of what we are witnessing. We thought that the .com era sped us up rapidly and the internet sped us. You wait for these next 4 years. And that's why
what you're talking about right now is called Moore's Law. My dad's younger friend, who I've always kind of looked at as like an older brother or a younger uncle. He's like 10 years older than me. Just went out to Denver in October, visited him for a week. He's like a computer genius. He actually brought, Oasis in Middlesex.
Yeah. Oh, you were telling me about this guy. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he started '08, him and his brother, and he was the software side of it. His brother was hardware. So this guy like basically started the
Program.
internet in Middlesex
That's crazy, bro.
back in the day.
I
As
used to have it too. The
and he was like,
Oasis
yeah,
disc.
and he was like 18 at the time. We were like 8, you know what I'm saying? Like he was 18
Wow.
when he did that.
So you talked about it before. I'm gonna have you go back to that, but finish what you were
But
about to
the
say.
reason I even said that is he told me about Moore's Law back in the day. I'm talking like 2008, 2007.
You sure it wasn't even longer ago than that? Because
Well, it doesn't matter because the point is the whole idea behind Moore's Law is it's a law of measurement and it's measuring the speed of computation. And what it's basically saying is that the speed increases rapidly over time because we reach that point where the machine begins to learn from itself.
yeah,
And so you hit kind of an exponential curve, and we're kind of right at that. The last 20 years have been like right at that. We were speeding up, speeding up, speeding up, and now we're really about to speed up, and it's just going to
yeah.
go. The graph is almost going to go straight up.
Once they plugged everything into the cloud with all that data, man, I knew we're all these servers and data centers that's all over Northern Virginia and data is the new gold. That's when I knew it was
So
around the corner.
by definition, it says Moore's law is the observation that the number of transistors in an integrated circuit doubles about every 2 years. So yeah, this is actually a little bit slower than I was talking about, but I think it's also been updated because of what they call machine learning or deep
Machine
learning.
learning, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so once you start learning from yourself, then like all of the human inputs continue at this rate, but then the inputs from the computer itself starts to take that linear growth and make it exponential. Um, but
So
anyways, the whole point is we're hitting that point where
I
like
think yeah, the whole thing is we're here.
the
We're
speed of
here
information is
and that
exponentially.
and that's what I think. I mean, people want to make this so much about so many other issues with politics, and it's like ultimately, you know how we truly look at it. G, we look at it from a overarching perspective. We look at to what is next based off of who they're letting in here right now. What is next? What is next? Where are we at with this? Where are we going? And Trump is an integral part. Um, you don't build somebody up as a future president from back in the Saturday Night Live days when he was like 20 years old for nothing. Okay.
No, he's
This
been
dude is
groomed
the
for this
he
role
he is
his
the
whole
face.
life.
He is the face of something. He is a key cog, a key piece in this. And what this is to me has been revealed. And to me, it is the technocracy that is here. I mean, look at that inauguration with who was front and center.
Elon
Musk
Musk, Jeff Bezos, Zuckerberg. No, 100%.
and Oracle has a big play in this too.
And
Uh,
Wesley used to work at Oracle when he first moved out to Denver. That's what he.
got you.
Yep.
And yeah, damn, he was working remote back then because he had to be working remote, right?
No, no, that was when he moved. He lives in Denver now.
Oh,
They have a headquarters in Denver. So that was actually like the one time he wasn't doing remote work. He does remote work again now. He's working for like
gotcha,
a
gotcha.
startup
Okay,
in New York out, and he still lives in Denver and works remotely out of a New York-based company. But no,
G,
Oracle is in Denver, and he actually commuted there. It was like a 45-minute commute back when he worked for him.
it would be awesome to get him on here too, man, because he could talk that technical shit. Nah,
He's 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 an interesting cat.
I
I
got you.
think he's on the liberal shit a little bit. He's definitely anti-Trump.
I
Uh,
got you. I would more so try to pick his brain on just where he thinks this is like when you know that kind of
I'll
stuff so
ask him.
well,
I'll ask him.
when you know that kind of stuff so well, there has to be some
See,
conspiracy to
the
you.
thing is, though, I'm with him on that. I am anti-Trump too. I don't ever want to come off as sounding like I'm with this guy because I don't. Listen, there's sometimes I agree with him. Sometimes I agree with him, but on a like he's not somebody. First of all, I love smoking weed. He just his vibe ain't with that. His vibe is
Yeah, I know.
all
It's
business, you know.
that annoys me too because the liberals have staked their claim. This is what I hear from people all the time. It's like the only positive thing you can say about the Liberal Party and their policies is that they're progressing marijuana. And to be honest, you probably should be questioning why they're progressing it now. Okay, and I think it's a little bit bigger than just tax reasons. But that's a whole nother topic, though. But I get what you're saying. It's not like I get what you're saying, but let's not forget who he used to run with back in the 90s days, okay? All right. Trump he's a chameleon, man. He's a chameleon. He used to run with them smokers and toters and and he been plugged into he loved hip hop back in the
I
day.
get it. I get it. I get it. It's something about it. Something about him. I'm never gonna get on that.
Of course, what's about it. He's high up in the ranks now. Well, I don't even think it's now. Looking back at some of his interviews from when he was younger, and it was like he almost was predicting this to happen. So that tells me that he was groomed into this anyway. Okay. So I just think that's just part of his character. And now he has the presidential character. And he has to be on the
have you heard the time travel theories? Like Trump's a time traveler.
And jumps into different points. I think that happens. I think there's something to that, bro.
With all the glitches in the Matrix since
20. Oh man.
When he first came on the scene, politically and I guess early 2016, late 2015, the glitches in the Matrix have just been crazy since then.
I know. Listen, that's not even, and I could talk about this kind of stuff all day because it fascinates me, but Mandela effect of some of this stuff too it's been crazy. The Mandela effect in general is crazy, okay? And I'm so tired of hearing people try to tell people that it's just short-term memory loss that you don't realize you had. There's always a science. You notice this, G? They always have a science specifically scientific way to explain something.
Right.
It's like, bruh, stop it. Because
what is a time? Well, here you go, James. What is a timeline outside of our collective memory? I mean, what is a timeline? A timeline is a story about the past. I've talked about it before. You can actually change the past based on what you believe about the past because all nows are connected. The only true reality is this moment.
Is what you're in right now.
Everything else is a story in your head. You can you can relive a memory by recalling it, but in that moment, all you're doing is recalling that memory. You're not living in the moment because you're too busy living in the memory.
Yeah.
What a timeline is nothing more than a collection or a collective memory.
Right.
So if you have the technology to tinker with people's memories, you have the technology to shift timelines.
Now that's a little that key piece that you said right there. If you have the technology to tinker with people's memories, now that is something that may be a thing. There are so many possibilities.
So that's the dark side of it. But then I think there's the flip side where you can tinker with your own memories, like a spiritual thing, like understanding all of your losses as lessons.
Yeah.
On a deep level, not just saying it. It's easy to say, but really going deep in yourself and
think about how some people deal with grief.
The things that you think were the worst thing that ever happened to you might have actually been the best thing that ever happened to you.
Yeah. To get you to where
you're in a weird way. I
know what you mean by that. To get you to where
like an example for me is my feet running over by a forklift. I don't want to lie or make it sound like I think that was great. I would never want it to happen again.
Right.
So I don't think it's a good thing in the sense that if you define good as something that you would want to do again, then it wasn't good. You know what I mean? But if you define good as something that benefited your life, that you were able to learn from, that you were able to grow from, that you were able to integrate as an experience to to make yourself a better person, to interact with life in a more genuine manner, right? To appreciate life more. When you factor in all of that, it may have been the best thing that ever happened to me. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
it depends on what you think of as best or good. But when you look at things holistically, as I do my best to do, you can tinker with your own memories by choice and
Yeah.
choose to look at certain things that some people might call traumatic, you
Yeah.
know.
Right.
And I'm not
Right.
talking about just physical injuries. Maybe went through a bad breakup or abuse of some sort,
Yeah.
emotional,
Yeah.
physical, mental abuse, whatever.
Yeah.
Uh is sometimes life's lessons are fucked up, but at the same time, all you have is this moment. And when you really truly recognize that all that's real is this moment, then you can look at moments that some people might call bad or traumatic or awful or whatever, and actually change them in the sense that it doesn't affect you negatively in this moment anymore because you see it in a different way.
See it
And
in
I
a different light. I see what you're saying. Yeah.
think that
Different
actually,
way.
I think on a more literal level, that actually changes the past because the past isn't real anyway. It's just our memory of it, and it kind of like I know it's a very radical like way of seeing things, but like at the same time, if you're really real, it, all that really exists is this moment. Everything I just said that might be in your head right now, that's just a story in your head at this point. I'm just making sounds. You only understand me because you speak the same language. Like,
The same language. Yeah.
and
That's true.
that and language itself is a belief system.
We talked about this on a pod before too. Somebody could say the same thing that you said in Mandarin, and I would sit here and be like,
You have no idea what the fuck they just said.
no idea.
Right.
It could be the deepest, most
It sounds
spiritual.
to you.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just an interesting world, man. Just
It
it's
is. Listen, it is. It's fascinating, and this is why we do this, and we continue to do
and
it.
that's what I think. They listen, I think they try to sell us on the fact that they've got this super advanced time traveling memory. You can bend memories or manipulate memories or whatever. I don't know if they even have any of that. I think they're kind of just trying to tell us that we have that technology in us, like we could access the technology in ourself, and that would make us a time traveler. Like
I'll,
I
that's
feel like I time travel every time I change a belief about something in the past because my beliefs about something in the past are affecting me right now, and right now is the only thing that's real. See what I'm saying? Like, so changing your beliefs about the past actually changes the past, like legitimately. And I know that sounds crazy to people from a certain, classical physical cause
yeah.
and effect worldview, but when you do your best to actually understand or understand the mystery of time itself, because time is a trip when you think about it, right? Time doesn't exist, right?
Right.
But it does in memory. So then you got to dissect, well, what is memory really? Well, it's kind of like the foundation of our belief system. We experience things, our beliefs are the result of the things that we experience. We build a belief
Right.
system on our experiences. And so yeah, it just comes full circle at a certain point when you're able to reflect on your belief system, take it to that next level and say, oh, why
Right.
do I believe this? Oh, some of these beliefs actually aren't doing me any good, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. It's an interesting way
and
to look at
change,
it.
I think changing your beliefs is time traveling.
It, you know, I think, I think, I think two things. Again, I think two things can be true. I think first of all, man has shown us that whatever either exists naturally or that we can do ourselves somehow, but we probably don't even know we can do it because they've hidden our powers from us or
They
won't let
tell
us.
us we only use 10% of our brain. I think that's kind of like a wink.
Exactly.
That's like a wink, wink too. Like
It, it, it,
you're
it's
not using 90% of your powers.
Yeah, I think there might be something to that. We see what some people can do. We see what some limits people can push themselves to. We see, we hear people that swear they, got telepathic things. People that are mediums. I mean, so to
All sorts of
me,
savants. I mean, did you see that video on Insta? You might not have seen it because I think it was like an Instagram reel, but these kids were in this math competition. And you know me, I'm good and sharp at math.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I won't fucking with these kids, bro. It was like they were flat, they would flash a number, and then like half a second later, not even a full second, half a second later, it would have plus 14, another half second, minus 21, another half second, plus eight, plus 34.
Right,
And it would do like 10 seconds of this and 20 different numbers show up. And these
right,
kids are keeping all this shit in their head and they get the right answer. 10 seconds, 20
why
numbers,
ridiculous?
20 functions in
Right.
10 seconds. Like, I'm good at math, but my brain was like, what? I hardly even saw the fucking numbers.
Yeah, yeah.
And these kids are keeping the calculation the whole time?
Killing it.
Whoa. Whoa. It put me in my place. I thought I was smart. My computing machine ain't fucking with those kids.
Yeah, that chip that they got the what's the new Apple chip?
They got the
They
cutting
got the
edge
M16
processor.
chip.
Like, whoa.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, dude.
That's absolutely hilarious. But like, yeah, it makes you it makes you realize, man, like
The brain has untapped potential for
it
sure.
really it's insane, man. It's insane. And
I
and
just hope
that
technology that we've got, we're at a like we've talked about, we're at a crucial point, I think, in terms of the evolution of technology,
hmm
the development of technology. And I just really pray that it goes in a direction that benefits human in a mutualistic way, like a mutually beneficial way for both the AI, because I don't think we're going to take it down at this point. There's no taking it down. We got to kind of work in a symbiotic relationship with it. And I just hope it does its job to kind of activate that 90%, so to speak, rather than
yeah.
enslaving us, which could be the other route.
I don't see how that doesn't happen eventually.
I
I've
think
always
I'm a naive optimist, but I think we've always been slaves to it, right? And uh we are it's giving us the option to be free. And some people are going to choose to remain in the machine, so to speak, and some people are going to
yeah.
say I want to be free. uh
I think the vac shop was one quick example
right.
of that
Perfect
optional
perfect
freedom.
example.
Yeah,
Perfect
and
example.
I've always thought that was their small scale test. You
Right.
know what I mean? It seems so big to most people, but it's like, bruh, trust me. I think that was their small scale test, and
Yeah, they got
we'll.
something else coming. I
Oh
think
man,
everybody's talking about this golden age and all this, and I think it gets darker.
but that's another thing that the listen to what it's being called. Like you said, G. I mean, we might get, like I said, we'll probably get while Trump's in there. They're going to be psychologically trying to fuck us because they always do that, especially with Trump. He's the perfect one to psychologically fuck you with because people are going to just be, they're going to
Oh,
start showing
what
the
is it when they
cops.
call it? TDS, right?
Yeah,
So no, so that's something I will say that as much as I say I don't like Trump, I don't understand TDS. It's the
you know what time it is, G. You know what I'm
the
about to say.
the triggering and the emotional.
I called it
Oh,
when Biden got back in. I said, this is what's going to be on your news cycle now. When Trump gets in, this is what's going to be on your news cycle now. And we're heading back in. We're heading back into race war, race division, cops shooting brothers on tele. They're going to be showing this to you all on TV. Now we're not going to be in any wars. Gas is going.
How much of that's going to have a purple
Hold
hue
on.
to
We're
it?
not going to be in any wars. Gas is going to be cheap. You might be able to afford some food again, but guess what? You, in order for you to have a little bit of peace, we got to give you a lot of psychological mind fucking. Okay, bottom line, that's what time it is. That's what time it is. Biden, they go in there. Oh, we'll promise you a little bit of peace from the psychological fucking, but we gonna put our hands around your neck and
financially
squeeze every ounce of everything we can get out you.
Yeah.
Hyperinflation, high gas, can't afford food, blase, all that, you know. So it's these ebbs and flows and gives and take that we already know, but I always like to focus on the psychological aspect of it because this is what we're in. They can't beat you over the back with a stick anymore. So what do? It's all psychology. It's what's on your TV. It's what they'll have a notable figure like a Fauci come out and tell you so you can believe it. It's the psychology of everything.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you even more than I think you were just saying because it is all the psychology in the sense that one of the things I just wanted to point out is you're talking about showing cops shooting black people. How many of those videos are going to have a purple hue to it or a little purple dot in the corner or something? Just
So they might be.
Just
no, very good point. Yeah,
but a lot of people don't know about the purple.
No. We love bringing HV stuff back up and talking about that, and absolutely. But I almost want to ask, and this is kind of stuff like this is why I was talking about your boy who's out there in Denver, but also like HV, like this stuff is moving and evolving so fast. I want to make sure that we're still looking at the right thing. You know what I mean? Like maybe they caught on to this purple glitch that gives everything away. And now it's not so purple anymore because technology has evolved where this shit don't have to be purple.
It could just be a deep fake and they don't even have to put a purple in it. It's just totally fucking
exactly. Like because some of this stuff, I swear.
But they'll still tell you somehow. They'll be
I know. Sometimes I'll be looking at some things, I'll be like, it's not purple, but man, this is some bullshit.
Hey, there's a 33 on the bus right there. Of course it's bus number 33.
Yes. I'll be sitting there like, I'll be damned if this ain't some bullshit. If I ain't seen it, but I don't see the purple. But this is some bullshit. I know some bullshit.
I can still tell it's bullshit.
But it just doesn't have that purple to it. So what? So what
else is going on here?
Yeah, it would be fun to know the evolution of some of this stuff because if it's one thing that's moving faster than anything, it's technology, and AI is just going to supercharge it. So what do we have to look out for now? Because like it ain't going. It may be deeper than the perps now, than the purples and all that stuff. Maybe a little bit more to it now than that. So, but anyway,
Well, hell yeah, man. This has been an awesome talk. Did you have anything else you wanted to talk about?
Before we hop off? I don't think so. I think the fires in California are interesting. I think we should always continue to follow with this one, G. What I want the people to follow after the fact. It's a little fuzzy right now, but right now, very soon, I should say, follow the developers. Follow the people that are going to be plugged into the rebuilding of this. Follow that. That's all I'll say.
Just like L.A.haina, and nobody even talks about L.A.haina anymore.
Nope. Oh, no. And that's the thing. It'll be going out the news air very soon. Trust me. There will be an event that will change the narrative of the fire. You'll forget they're even happening here pretty soon. Trust me, people. Watch. This is how it works.
Just like we forget everything else. Just like we forgot about the Titanic, whatever that thing was that sunk to the bottom.
Oh, the boat that hit the boat that involved. Oh man, the Baltimore
Project Ocean Gate or whatever. All that.
Isn't it so wild how that stuff starts to feel like
recycled news stories?
But G, do you ever feel like sometimes like the Baltimore thing, for example, that shit feels like it happened years ago.
Oh, the Francis Scott Key Bridge thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, people forgot about that too, right?
It feels
like last year
because what they do, they throw so much stuff at you.
So much.
The thing that happened
January 23rd, James. I just searred before we got on the pod. The only thing I knew we were going to talk about was the NFL. I was like,
everything else was like, look, between me and you, we got something to talk about, so we'll figure it out as we go.
Figure it out. But I did just Google like news stories of 2025 just to get a couple of ideas flowing through my brain, and it's like so much has happened.
So much
already.
23 days 23 days in, baby. Don't matter.
23 days into this, man.
Don't matter. Guess what? We got to help you forget about the last pill that we just gave you. We got to help you forget about the last disaster, the last catastrophe, the last false flag, the last mind fuck, the last psychology trick. See, this is what I'm saying. And it works perfectly because I be sitting around here sometimes like, oh, I forgot about that. Damn. Oh, that shit.
You
feel like
said
it
Baltimore. I didn't know what you were talking about for a second. And then I was
Bruh,
talking about the bridge.
Forgot about it.
Exactly.
Forgot about it like it didn't even happen.
Right. It's incredible.
It's incredible. It's incredible. I studied the
That
raw.
NK Ultimate machine is tuned up.
Well, listen. I blame it on Musk, man, because Musk be fucking around with all these things up in the sky and it's
I
beaming
don't
on
think
it.
he's a real person. I'm with HV on that one. He's definitely a character. And I think he's one of the ones where they're trying to tell us he's a character because it ain't enough hours in the day for you to be the best video game player on the planet.
Best tweeter.
Running
He got so much time to tweet.
Tesla, making underground tunnels from Los Angeles to New York. You ain't doing all. And on Twitter the whole fucking time.
All day long. All day long and 7 days and twice on Sunday.
People put into a character is what that is.
Bruh, you're so right about that. And it's so funny how much I know that and forget it so quickly because they play their roles so well. But I always find myself saying, man, there's something off about. Look at how he twitches. They're either clones, they're either characters.
In the picture of the fucking his torso, like
when it was all protruded and now it's normal.
Looks so fucking weird. Like, come on. Come on.
Yeah, that shit was wild. I know what you're talking about. His torso is just protruding out like a pregnant person. Hey, well, listen, they gotta
sharp angles though. It's not even round. It's like,
oh yeah, it looks like the shape of the Tesla truck.
Exactly.
Gee, you can't make this up.
The computers that are rendering this reality are running out of RAM.
They be fucking with us, bro. They be
trying to make themselves more efficient or something.
Yeah, man. What a good pod. Look, they're starting to get restless now too as we're wrapping this thing up. Like, well, you've been talking a long time. What's going on here?
I'm hungry and thirsty.
Yeah, right. They have everything they need over here, but they're like, yo, like I told y'all last pod, these strays just showed up on my doorstep and they haven't left. So here we are. I guess we're doing this thing. Everybody knows I got a soft spot for animals and stuff, man.
Yeah, me too. I'm with you on that.
And of course, they would show up in the coldest month we didn't had out here since probably high school, bro. It hasn't been this kind of cold consistently out here. I mean, every year I'm talking to people about how we don't have winters anymore, and now we're having one of those old school, yeah. We're having one of those old school winters right now.
Yeah,
ice and snow, and I mean, growing up, we used to be known to have an ice storm before Thanksgiving. We would already have an ice storm, you know?
I remember, like, this actually goes back to the very first story you told back when we were Alienation, but I remember that blizzard from like January of 94. It's one of my first, and you moved to Middlesex in that blizzard.
In 94.
That's crazy.
In 94. And if you're talking about
we had a blizzard, it seemed like at least every other year.
Every other year. And if it wasn't a blizzard, it still would be either an ice storm or still snow. You know? Now, I mean, the fact that we had 2 snows in January is kind of like, whoa. Right. Which is wild because that used to be what we were so used to it, you know?
Yeah.
Crazy ice storms.
But and if I will say this in defense of people who are like, man, I don't know about climate change. I do believe in climate change. I don't think it's all about carbon like they say it is. I think it's more about aerosols and other toxic pollutants that get in our air and water and soil. But that's beside the point in this, to me, with this is Virginia, I think, is just on a really, we're right on that line. You know what I mean? As far as the north-south, like the latitude line, we're right on that line where it's like, we're going to get some snow, but there might be some seasons where we don't. You know what I mean? Like
Well,
North,
even
like
on
Maryland is still getting these winters. You know, even when we weren't,
yeah,
they were still getting them, and that's not that far north. You know, so it's not like a drastic change. We're kind of right on that line where it could go either way, is what I'm saying.
yeah.
It just happened to be mild for a few years, 10 years there.
Well,
So
all that snow that's happening in the South too right now.
yeah, I mean,
That's
I mean, maybe human. See, the thing I don't like about the climate change thing is I think part of it is the human ego. Like we actually think that we are significant, and I don't want to say we're insignificant because I think on an emotional level and a psychological level, we are very significant and important, right? To the universe. But I think on a more physical level, I think it's hilarious that we think we impact the earth as
yeah,
maybe we do have a
right.
minuscule impact on the earth, but the earth is the fucking
It's
earth.
the Earth, Mother Earth,
Yeah,
Mother Earth.
it regulates itself to a certain degree. And I do think if
Absolutely,
it got really bad, it would just we would have natural disasters to the
it would
point
just swallow us up and be
where
done
follow
with
us
us.
up. Yeah. But I think it still has a use for us because of our emotional and psychological energy.
Yeah,
It's trying to wake us up to the fact that it's alive. I think when I was thinking about this, and we'll end on this because I don't want to just ramble on forever. But
hmm
um, when I try to like summarize what I would say is the one belief that puts me at odds with the mainstream, I would say it's that the earth is alive. Because all of the other beliefs that are taboo that I hold stem from that core belief that the earth is alive. Because that's a paradigm shifting belief.
hmm
That's a belief that can transform an entire worldview just in that one belief. Because
right.
if you believe the earth is not alive, it's just a ball of dirt
Of dirt. Yeah, yeah. No, come on.
that we as
Ooh.
humans have geniusly figured out how to manage for our resources.
Yeah, yeah.
Like now that's where the rubber meets the road. That's where I find my grounding is in that more indigenous lifestyle understanding of the land is alive. We have a relationship with the land,
Right.
provides to us when they weren't necessarily vegans. Maybe some tribes were, but I don't think most of them were.
No, hunter gatherers was out there
But
hunting, boy.
but
hmm
when they killed an animal, it was a big deal. There was a ceremony. They revered that animal for
Right.
giving them life. I
Yes.
mean, it
Sacrifice,
was a
but
very conscious
spiritual.
and
Yeah.
deep understanding of the relationship between all things and with the earth and the sun and the moon being living beings that actually have a heartbeat and a brain and just things that sound very woo woo to your normie.
That's what. Yeah. I got a friend at all. I mean, Kay always says that shit. Like it sounds woo woo, but I'm like, listen, woo woo is the space that I live in. What you talking about in a lot of ways?
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, yeah, but is that not an MK Ultra tactic right there? Like, oh, you're too close to truth that upsets the lies that we use to
Yeah.
control everybody. So,
Yeah, yeah. Listen, you can tell when you can tell when it's one of those that oh no we don't want you to
you're
get
over the target.
because the react yeah and the reaction to it or how they kind of flip it in the media or with certain talking pundits or whatever you can always tell and a lot of times I'm like you had all your talking heads come up here today and made sure to say this, that, or the third, or to spin this narrative, or to, whatever, right? And I always raise my eyebrow to that topic, just like anything else, like what's going on with the fires right now in Cali, which started this whole other conversation. It's like, listen, I'm not even going to go there with y'all today. Just know we'll see, we'll see whose hands is in this pot when this thing is done. That'll tell you everything you need to know. because the future smart city, I guarantee you that's going to be a staple location for it.
Where? L.A.?
Yeah, wherever is free and burnt down.
Right. Yeah, no, I see. Yeah.
I mean, think about the stories behind these people that aren't even getting insured, and some of these people that will never be able to live in those areas again. This is going to get all bought up, and I want everyone to pay attention to who buys it up, because that will lead you back to everything you want to know.
Right. 100%.
Always. It always does
same with L.A.haina. It's been enough time. We should do a deep dive.
We should look into that. Land.
Yeah.
We should look into that. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
A pleasure as always, my man. I'm gonna catch you Sunday.
Yes, sir. I can't wait for it, man.
Take down the Eagles.
Revert back to my mindless self for that game.
I gotta shout out Dr. Luke, because he was the one that gave me the Book of Daniel riddle that I told you about with the
okay,
taking down the lion, Daniel going in the lion's den, taking down the eagle winged lion.
And guess who came on syndicated television? I think I said that right. Guess who came on national television and said that same exact line, G?
Brady?
Mina Kimes on ESPN.
Oh, okay, I got you. Yeah.
The same Lions
Den. Went into the Lions Den.
And guess what? You're talking about a publication. You're talking about an entity that never hyper focuses on God or Bible and stuff, because that's not what they do.
In fact, they avoid it a lot.
Exactly. But they had and let Mina sit up there that day on NFL Live and refer to that and even say the biblical story. Now, come on, G. You might be on to something, brother. You really might be on to something.
No. That's shout out Dr. Luke. All credit to Dr. Luke on that one, because he that was his IG story. And so the eagle-winged lion, right? So because it was an eagle-winged lion that he defeated, that's why I thought the Eagles were going to lose last week.
Yeah,
they would go down with the Lions.
Yeah, I see.
So, but with the Eagles winning, I actually am more confident in the Commanders than if it had been a Ram, because in chapter 7 of the book of Daniel, he defeats the eagle-winged lion. In chapter 8, he has a vision of a two-horned ram. It doesn't say anything about defeating a ram.
Right.
So I'm almost more confident now that it's the Eagles instead of the Rams. I thought it was going to be the Rams because I thought they were going to move to chapter.
Yeah. Gee, this is what you
the LA Fires is what really had me thinking that they were going to play the empathy.
Yeah, I know.
Pull the string, the emotional heartstrings.
But yeah.
But they didn't go that route. They went the Eagles route. And because they went the Eagles route, now I'm even more confident Commanders win from that perspective, from the archetypal trying to decode the Matrix perspective. From an NFL, if it's not rigged fan perspective, the Eagles are a more talented team, of course.
Yeah,
But who cares? Who cares about talent when it don't matter when
there's other things that yeah. I want you've got to cut this segment, and whenever you do the shorts, the segment that we were talking about, the NFL thing, put that underneath it, because that was a very good point that we didn't say earlier, and all the coincidences. That's another the Daniel walking into the Lions Den one, and then Mina Kimes sitting on ESPN. And if anybody follows that stuff closely, you know that those networks, especially ESPN and all them, they don't like you to get. They'll let the athletes say their little piece, but that's it. It doesn't ever go that far, and a lot of times they have been caught and called out for completely editing spiritual Christianity and all of that stuff out of it.
Oh no! Whenever players thank God or thank Jesus, pray to Jesus, they cut that out quick.
Yep. But they let Jayden do his and Mina Kimes had that little piece. I'm telling you, they don't ever do that. They don't ever do that.
But it aligns with Trump coming back and Commanders and Chiefs and the whole thing.
Conservative Christian. Yep, you're right.
Jayden's perfect because publicly he does all the right things. He says all the right things. He's got all the right mannerisms. He enunciates, right? He speaks well, right?
He doesn't have teeth. He doesn't have gold teeth like that boy up the road there in Baltimore.
No, but then to top it all off, to top all that off, then damn, where was it? What was I about to say? He
To top it all off.
To top all of that off, he's religious, and the timing of Trump coming in
and the VR thing,
the resurgence of the Christian nation, Christian what do they call it?
They do have a term for it. I know
Christian
what you're trying
nationalism
to think.
or whatever they call it.
Christian, yeah, nationalism, Christianity,
right.
Yeah, all of that, because that's linked with conservatism. Yep. You're right. And like I said, the big one for me is well, there's a lot of big ones there, but that VR thing is, the timing is impeccable. And G, you know what? I'm just glad that we got him. How about that? You know what? I get it. That was going to come with his character, and I'm just glad that we got that character on our team and our script, because I'll take that any day.
Oh, and no, this is where I was going. On top of all that, they can put him on social media and make him relatable, stuff that they would never be put on ESPN, right? Stuff that would never be put on the national media. They can have him on social media talking about, I'm hot, I'm the Fed, when he's wearing a wire. So, oh, that's cool. You know what I'm saying? He's got the cool factor too. He's got the cool factor on the underground.
He's got the cool factor.
Talented, and he can
beautiful smile. He's got
and he can be part of the culture. He's got all, he's full circle. You know what I'm saying? He's well-rounded, so to speak. He's everything they want.
And I'm gonna say one more thing, and then I'm gonna end this, because it does grind my gears a little bit too. They talk a lot about his mom. They don't talk much about his dad. They love, in the black family, they love showing the strong woman, but showing that image of the man is not there. It's still a broken home, though.
Right, fatherless.
It's still he literally fits everything that they.
Look, man. We don't have enough time to go all the way into it, but that's
I know.
That's the whole fucking point of the welfare.
I know. You can keep going. That is the point, G, because
the whole point is to break up the black family. If you don't have a dad in the home, you can get a check from the government. Boom.
Yep. Boom. You got your mom. She's your agent now. Cool. But you know what? We won't even mention your dads here. We won't even show them together. We don't even want the casuals, not the people that follow this thing closely like me. We don't want the casuals out there even thinking that you got a daddy around. Matter of fact.
Yeah, no, and then
his dad played football, D1 football.
Right, but doesn't his mom have like a boyfriend that's not his dad? Because they were talking about that.
I think so, and he been around too. He been around too. And listen, when I saw Jayden hanging out with homeboy, not hanging out with him, but homeboy's trying to rub. It was the same game that Jay-Z came to too. G, the boy that the white dude that runs not FanDuel,
Fanatics.
Michael
Rubin. Yeah.
Let me tell you something.
Yeah, no, he's plugged in.
Let me tell y'all people something. Let me tell y'all something, because y'all don't know who Mike Rubin is, probably. Maybe you do.
I do. He's plugged in.
When he's around, boy, let me tell you something. Jayden, I pray for my brother. I just want him. I hope he knows what he's doing, and I hope that the people in the circle, his circle's small and tight, and his mom is huge in his circle. I'm not gonna say nothing about his mom. I don't know his mom. Okay, I just hope they know what they're doing, and I hope they know who they're being plugged into right now. Jay-Z and Michael Rubin ain't just at your game watching the star quarterback for nothing. Okay,
I'm with you. The white party, right? Brady was there, and
yeah. Now that's the other thing. If I see Jayden at the all white party, I mean, it is what it is. We know what time
it is. What it is. We know what time it is. It is what it is.
We know what time it is, and people can pretend that they don't understand what that means all they want to. That ain't my problem no more. That ain't my problem no more. If you don't know what time it is.
Yeah.
I just hope that he keeps it football, and I hope he knows what he's doing, man.
Well, I'll see you probably around the end of the third quarter, start of the fourth quarter of Commanders Eagles.
I'm gonna hit you up offline because I still got to tap in with you on what we talked about with my dad. I gotta touch base with you on that. So
yeah, and then obviously I'll see you for your birthday next week too, man. So
yeah, that'd be
pleasure
a
as
good one.
always.
We're working on a special working on a special pod for that, guys. So stay tuned to that. It'll be a fun one, a little different aesthetic too. But love you guys. Peace. Stay safe out there.
Much love.
Do you believe in repenting? What if the kingdom of heaven's within you? Do you think you would enter, huh? What do you know, huh? How do you know truth? From the pit of your soul or just cause somebody told you? Do you think about what you think about? Do you see yourself in the people that you hang around? Keep quiet, let me think aloud. Listen up, wanna break it down and question your perceptions. I'ma break it down and question your perceptions. Do you ever question your perceptions? Do you ever question it? Oh yeah. What if your money was worthless? Then would you know what your worth is and reconsider living with a purpose? How would you determine what work is? Are you seeking what's easy to purchase, or is it deeper than what's on the surface? Do you question your perceptions? Ever so is real, huh? It ain't your politicians, nor your status. All of that is fiction, so it's real, huh? It ain't your entertainment, nor the industry. I heard it's filled with fake shit. I need truth over everything. Yeah. I need truth above all else. Just I need truth over everything. Yeah, give me the truth, yeah.